And a good Thursday night to all of you. Welcome to Kitchener Panthers Baseball on YouTube. He's Mike, I'm Mark, and it's a battle of Highway 7 as we start the month of August. We are getting really into the dog days of this regular season. Really just a couple weeks left before the IBL postseason. The Kitchener Panthers not guaranteed a spot in the dance as of yet. They are fighting for their playoff lives, the Brantford Red Sox at the bottom of the standings. They're taking on the Guelph Royals here tonight, who are tied for third by contrast with the London Majors coming into this evening. This is going to be an interesting battle between these two teams.
Yeah, sure is. We're talking baseball tonight. We're talking Kitchener and Guelph.
Yes, we are.
Kitchener and Guelph have played three times together so far this year. Guelph winning the first two meetings, Kitchener winning the last one 6-3. The Royals with a big win over the Pare Baycats last night. And as you mentioned, Mark, the Panthers, they're not guaranteed to get into the playoffs. Currently, they are in that 8th spot. Half game back of the Toronto Maple Leafs for 7th spot. Kitchener, of course, got rained out Tuesday night against Brantford. That game has been made up, or will be made up on Tuesday, August 4th, 13th. 13th.
Yeah.
13th. And yeah, it's going to be a busy last few weeks. And of course, the Kitchener Panthers and the Guelph Royals have more games this weekend.
Yes, they do. It's an uphill battle, really. You think about the hot streak that Kitchener went on a couple of weeks ago. Since then, they have lost 6 straight ball games. They have to figure something out, and I think one of the major things that they really have to figure out is keeping the ball in the ballpark. And one of the things that they might be able to get assistance with is the man that's going to be starting on the mound tonight, making his IBL debut, in Yankel Morris.
Yeah, Yankel Morris being the last Cuban import to come aboard for the Panthers. He was a little bit of a jack of all trades back in Cuba. Started and was a closer as well. So, he is getting the start tonight. Nobody in the well, I shouldn't say nobody. Very few people in the IBL have any experience with him. Obviously, coming in from Cuba, so it'll be interesting to see. I do look for Morris to kind of have an advantage tonight, since the league hasn't seen him, right? And you can watch all the film you want, but until you actually step in that batter's box, it's a completely different story.
The other storyline for the Kitchener Panthers, a guy that is familiar with Morris, not in the lineup tonight. So, of course, his former teammate in Sancti Spiritus in Junior Ibarra, suspended for 2 games. He was thrown out of the ballgame against Welland on Sunday. We don't know what was said on the field. It was a quick ejection immediately. The second batter of the ball game, we have since found out he has been suspended for 2 games. The first one being served tonight. The second one will be served in the back half of this very home and home on Saturday in Guelph. You turn it over to Guelph. You mentioned it already. A big win over the Pare Baycats last night, 15-3. 5 home runs, including 2 grand slams. One of the guys that was in that lineup batting DH was Hector Young. He's the starting pitcher for the Royals here this evening.
Yeah, it's a big boon for a team when you can have a guy like Hector Young who, dominant on the mound, but also the
had the lead in that
2-0, right?
It went to 2-0. Franklin Torres hit a home run, the recent acquisition from the Royals. He is not in the lineup for the Royals this evening. We'll get through all the lineups as the game goes along into that first inning. But again, Kitchener coming off that 10-6 loss against Welland. What can you take from that game in Welland into this game here tonight? Try to really build up something and get the win out of this game here on a Thursday night.
Yeah, and again, I know we've not harped on it, but we've talked about it for the last few weeks here on the Panthers broadcast. It all comes down to the pitching. The Panthers, they are piling up runs with the best of them here in the IBL, but they're almost last or second last in every major pitching category. Kitchener's given up 52 home runs this year so far. That's the most in the IBL. They've given up 39 unearned runs. When you're giving teams extra outs, it's really hard to win a ball game.
It really is. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got some baseball on tap. We'll introduce the starting lineups, and then we'll see what the next edition of the Highway 7 rivalry turns out to be. We are live on 98.5 CKWR as well, so glad you can tune us in on the local radio station as well. We'll be back after this. Don't go anywhere. This is Kitchener Panthers Baseball on YouTube and 98.5 CKWR.
And we will be going out with
When you're looking for a baseball or softball cleat, the first thing you need to know is what sport do you play, softball or baseball? For softball, there are three kinds of cleats that are good for you. The turf cleat, the rubber cleat, or the TPU cleat, which is known as hard plastic. The turf cleat is made for hard surfaces, synthetic, and gives you the feel of a running shoe. The rubber cleat is a softer spike and is made for beginners to mid-level players. The TPU cleat is a harder spike, gives you better performance and more stability while running the bases. When we look at baseball cleats, the three same apply: the turf cleat, the rubber cleat, and the TPU cleat. For turf cleat, it is also available for coaches. Then we add the metal cleat. The metal cleat is used for bantam players and up, and elite players as well. Please verify with your local association and rulebook that the metal cleat is good for you. If you need more tips on baseball cleats or softball cleats, please come and see us at Source for Sports, because at Source for Sports, we know our stuff.
To be the best, you've got to bring performance from every second. The game is getting faster every season, so Rawlings made a time machine to help you keep up. Introducing the all-new Velo ACP. It's light, it's balanced, so you can pick your pitch and drive the ball with maximum exit velocity. The game's gotten faster. Your bat has too.
And there you see it on the screen. The starting lineup for the Guelph Royals. It's brought to you by Ethel's Lounge, 114 King Street, North Waterloo, serving up great food for over 30 years. The Royals will send Brando LaRue, Connor Morrow, and Andy Leader to the batter's box to lead things off here in the first. Of course, LaRue and Leader. Grand Slam home runs. They were really feeling the deli meats last night.
Isn't that the truth?
Yes, indeed. LaRue is on third. Morrow's a shortstop. Andy Leader will go out in right field. Garrett Takamatsu, the former IBL MVP, is over on first. J.D. Williams, the center fielder. Josh Garton, who's thought he had a home run last night, but it turned out to actually be a ground rule double. He is the DH for this evening.
Brandon, it's your pick.
Ethan Hammond is the left fielder. Evan Ash is the catcher. And the former Bay Cat, Carson Burns, will bat in the 9-hole at second base.
Yeah.
He'll take on Yankiel Morris.
Yeah, and as I said in the opening, Morris making his IBL debut here, so I'm sure that the teams in the league have seen video, scouted him, see what he throws. But again, until you step into that batter's box, you have no idea. You might hear, oh, he throws, a 90-mile-an-hour heater or whatever. But until you step in that box, you don't know how heavy that ball actually is coming at you. So Morris could add a big, big boost to this Kitchener Panthers pitching staff, who has some improvement to do to climb up the ranks in the IBL standings.
Yes, indeed. We'll touch on the standings as the night goes along, because it is going to be a big storyline as we go through the last couple of weeks of the season. Things are really tight in a number of different quadrants of the IBL standings. Yankiel Morris, 6'2", 156. Looks like a lanky kind of guy. 28 years of age. But again, you said You said it, partner. A guy that is a jack of all trades kind of guy. He can start, he can finish as well. And again, this is another one of those situations where you're coming into the month of August, you're making your IBL debut, you want to qualify for the postseason. You might see about 5 or 6 innings from him here just to get most of your qualification innings in right off the hop.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you who aren't familiar with it, for a pitcher, you need 10 innings, 5 appearances to qualify.
Both.
Yes.
Not either or.
Yes. 10 innings and 5 appearances. And the Panthers have 11 more games to play, including tonight. So you figure if he goes tonight, this is Thursday,
The first 40
can
goals.
theoretically maybe throw a few innings in relief, maybe on Saturday. That would be a throw day for him anyway. If you get him another start next week, towards the end of next week, then now you're at 3 appearances in a week and a half. Should be okay.
First pitch delivered up and in for ball 1, and we are underway. It's 7:37. Glad you can join us on YouTube at 98.5 CKWR. Mark Pare, Mike Jarvis in the broadcast booth. Similar location there. It actually hit LaRue on the arm and actually grazed his arm, if anything, but LaRue nonetheless will take a base. So second pitch of the ball game clunks the batter, and that'll bring up Connor Morrow with a man on board.
Yeah, Morrow hitting .314 on the year. He's gotten into 11 games, 35 at-bats. No homers so far. 3 RBIs, 3 walks. Sorry, 4 walks, rather. But again, with this middle of the Royals lineup, you want to make sure that you keep these table setters off the base. You've got Leader, Takamatsu, Williams, and Garten lurking, all of whom can put the ball out in a hurry.
And of course, Connor Morrow's no slouch. He's been around these parts for a long time, 6th IBL season, of course, a 3-time IBL champion with the Barrie Baycats.
And, that experience is invaluable, really.
Squared up to bunt there. It's going to go across Broadway.
Morrow's one of those
0-2
guys.
count. Or rather, it is a 1-1 count.
And Morrow's one of those guys who really plays his best ball in August and September.
Yes, he does. Morris gets set up here. Of course, Ryan Burnside catching the ball. His battery mate this evening. That's going to go across for strike 2. Let's take a look at the umpires for tonight's game. As you see there on your screen, Chris Long is calling the balls and strikes. Mike Guthrow is the crew chief. He's over at first, and Nick Leffler is over at third. That one just misses under the knees. 2-2 count.
Yeah, it looked a little low there. Nice breaking ball on the black. But again, just a little bit under the knees. I look for the Royals to be rather patient the first time through, kind of get an idea of what Morris is going to throw and how the ball comes out of his hands.
The delivery, that's going to be sent into left field. It's going to drop. That'll be a base hit. Circling around second, going into third, standing up is LaRue, and getting into second base is Morrow. Good hustle there from the shortstop as he gets in.
Yeah, real nice hustle by Morrow to get to second. But what I liked there was Raul Gonzalez out on the cut of the grass, directing the left fielder not to throw that ball into third base, because there was no chance you were going to get LaRue at third. So rather, Gonzalez is saying, hey, we might have a shot at second. Throw that ball in back behind the runner. That's good heads up and just good baseball awareness by Raul Gonzalez there. Andy Leader up to bat now for the Royals, and Leader had one of those 2 grand slams for the Royals last night.
Yes, he did. It came late in the ball game. That was when Ryan Rio took the mound for the Barrie Baycats. Said it on the broadcast last night, partner. It felt like a Twilight Zone episode, especially with Hector Yan, who is pitching in this game tonight for the Royals, was actually up to bat during that inning. The 0-1 is going to be fouled off.
Yeah, that would be a little surreal to say the least.
And Hector Yan didn't look too bad with the cube.
That's what I heard.
Of course, hit one, a hot shot to the pitcher. It ended up turning into an error against the pitcher. It was originally credited as a single, but definitely an error. Ended up hitting a double his next time up. The 0-2 upstairs.
Yeah, and that's some good movement by Morris there. Just try to change the eye level of Andy Leader. You've gotten down. Now you're trying to go up with him, working both of those north and south quadrants. But again, we've seen Leader over the years be very patient. He's not afraid to take a pitch when he has to.
He was 3 for 4 last night, including a pair of singles to tack onto that slam
Of course,
inside.
still rocking the no batting gloves.
He's old school.
He is.
6 years in Kitchener, first year in Guelph. Happy to play baseball, that's for sure. I was able to have a word with him last night and just very thrilled to just be able to play the game he loves once again.
Well, when it all comes down to it, that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Here comes the 2-2. Set up outside, and Leader's going to flare this one into shallow infield, and that's going to be grabbed up there by Spencer Ross, and first out of the inning.
So one of the things that I've noticed from Morris so far is he's working from the first base side of the rubber.
Now batting number 4,
That
first baseman.
ball is
Takamatsu.
most likely going to tail away from the right-handed hitters as well, just from being on that right hand or first base side of the rubber.
Well, it's interesting, too. All we've seen so far tonight are righties for the Guelph Royals. Potentially, when you see a lefty go in there, do you see that change in stance? That's going to be an interesting question to see as Takamatsu takes a first pitch strike down into the corner.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. So one of the things that we'll keep an eye on here for inside calling time, a little bit of a equipment malfunction. The belt's busted.
Of course,
You'll get a new one in between innings.
that darn belt happens every time.
It does. It's unfortunate when it happens. I had it happen the one time running to second.
Oh,
Nobody wanted to see that.
no, nobody. Here comes the 0-1. And that'll be flared out of play.
Yeah, nice hack by Takamatsu there, hitting 275 on the year. Takamatsu, he's gotten into quite a few games for the Royals so far this year, 23 games, 3 homers, 20 RBIs, 7 walks. Only 13 Ks for Takamatsu so far this year. So a guy who's knows the strike zone pretty well and doesn't chase very often.
The 0-2 delivered upstairs. 1-2. Let's take a look at the defense for the Kitchener Panthers. You see it there. Simon Grinberg, Blake Jacqueline, Jet Jarvis from left to right in the outfield. AJ Carosis, Raul Gonzalez, Spencer Ross, Nick Parsons working in the infield from left to right. And of course, as mentioned before, Ryan Burnside catching Yankiel Morris.
And again, a big thing is just for the Panthers to cut down on the errors.
1-2. Good block there by Burnside. Into the other batter's box he goes as that one went well wide of the strike zone.
These Royals are such a good hitting team and such an opportunistic team as well, too, that you can't afford to give them an extra out.
Well, one of those things, it really appeared last night for them, as mentioned, trailing 2-1. Seemed like they were starting to get a few things going, as this is going to be fielded by Gonzalez over to first, definitely not in time there. LaRue comes in to score, and it's 1-0 Guelph.
Yeah, so Takamatsu gets the RBI on the infield single. Still only 1 out. Morrow stays at second.
Williams.
There, he wasn't able to advance.
Well, just the way that ball was hit, it was a slow roller, went right to the shortstop. Gonzalez could have played it easily over to third if he was going there. But just to finish my point, they were starting to get things going, and then when that 6-run inning came against the Baycats last night in the 4th, that's when things really started cooking for them, and it seemed like they just could not miss.
Yeah, it doesn't take long for them to get hot, that's for sure. In the first meeting here this season, Guelph put up 27 runs back on May 19th.
It was not a pretty sight for Kitchener Panthers fans, that's for sure. J.D. Williams now in the batter's box, the center fielder. Another righty. We've seen 5 straight righty bats for the Guelph Royals so far.
Williams hitting .333 on the year so far.
And that's a hot shot. That's going to get past Ross and into center field. Circling around third, he's going to stay there, and the bases are now loaded for Josh Garton.
Yeah, that's a smart play by Morrow to stay there. With only 1 out in the inning.
Designated hitter, Josh Garton.
You don't want to take the chance and run to a note at home when you've got Garton coming up. to bat. I know Garton's been in a power slump lately, but he can leave the yard whenever he wants.
Yeah, 7 home runs. Doesn't have a home run since June 19th. That was a 2 home run game. I believe it was in Hamilton. Thought he had a home run last night, but of course it was clear to me from the broadcast booth at the very least that it was a ground rule double.
And here's
But it was a hot shot, and he's been displaying his power. He just hasn't been leaving the yard as much lately.
the first left-hander.
There's a swing and a miss for strike one, and right you are, partner. First lefty after 5 straight righties for the Royals.
Yeah, Morris still on that first base side of the rubber. Garton took a big hack there. He lifted and separated like he was trying to hit this out into the houses out in right field.
You know he wants one. Again, just the way he brought his energy last night and the way he's been hitting the ball. He sees this ballpark. He sees the home runs against for the Kitchener Panthers this season. You know he wants to get under one. It's an 0-2 count here on Garton.
And a lot of sluggers come in here, as this park is, one of the smaller parks in the league, and they do think maybe I can get off the snide here. And so you do see a lot of big swings in this ballpark.
Yes, you do. Check over to second. The 0-2. That's a strikeout. First career IBL strikeout for Yankiel Morris is on Josh Garton.
And, the Panthers,
Now batting
52 home runs allowed
Ethan Hammond.
on the year.
52 home runs allowed on the year, and I will say that 31 of those have come with runners on base. 21 of those have come with runners in scoring position.
And, that's something that the Panthers got to do. They got to do a better job of buckling down in those clutch situations.
That one's going to miss outside to Ethan Hammond, another lefty. Ball one. Guelph Royals this season, they have hit 3 Grand Slam home runs. As mentioned before, 2 of them coming just last night.
The Panthers on the year, they've scored 191 runs. But now, with the run they've given up tonight, that's their 259th run they've given up. So that's a minus 68 run differential.
It's not conducive to success, that is for sure.
No, it definitely isn't. And, a big part of that is keeping the ball in play when you've got runners on base.
The Deauville Spartans alum Hammond in the batter's box here, facing a 1-1 count. That one paints the black on the outside for strike number 2.
And that's a really nice pitch by Morris there. As you said, it's right on the black. Even if Hammond does anything with that, he's not going to be able to drive that ball with much authority whatsoever. It's low in the zone. It's at the knees. It's right on the black. That might have been a ground out over to third to AJ Carosis there. Good take by Hammond, but nice pitch by Morris.
The delivery, and that's a strike. Strike 3, and Hammond goes down. They strand, the bases loaded. It remains 1-0 Guelph as we go to break. Stay with us. This is Kitchener Panthers Baseball on YouTube and 98.5 CKWR.
1 run.
It's a new season of baseball, and with that comes new merchandise in the Jack Couch Park merchandise tent and online store. Make sure to check out our huge selection of new wearables to cheer on your team. We have replica jerseys, jackets, pullovers, hats, scarves, and blankets for those chilly evening games. Our shops have all different sizes to choose from, and we will try our best to fit you with Panthers authorized gear. Make sure to check us out at our merchandise tent at the front gate when you enter into the park, or visit our shop online at KitchenerPanthers.com and click on Shop. We want our fans to wear our gear proud and loud and cheer on your Panthers.
Welcome back to Panthers Baseball on YouTube and 98.5 CKWR. Mark Pare and Mike Jarvis in the broadcast booth. Now time for the lineup for the Kitchener Panthers. This starting lineup is brought to you by Ethel's Lounge, 114 King Street, North Waterloo, serving up great food for over 30 years. Blake Jacklin back into the lineup for the Kitchener Panthers. took a little bit of a vacay recently, so he comes back fresh and ready to go. He's working center field tonight. Jet Jarvis is in right, Simon Grinberg in left. So the three outfielders will bat 1, 2, 3 to start off this game. Raul Gonzalez, the shortstop. Nick Parsons is the first baseman. Spencer Ross is over at second. Eric Martin is the DH. AJ Caros is over at third. And Ryan Burnside is the catcher.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, as good as it is to have Blake Chaplin back in the lineup because he did take that little vacay. We said it before and we'll say it again. This Panthers lineup goes as Raul Gonzalez goes. In the major offensive categories, average, home runs, and RBIs, Gonzalez is top 5 in each. He's got a 323 average. He's got 8 home runs tied with his teammate Nick Parsons there, and 33 RBIs just behind Seth Strong from Chatham-Kent there. So, as we saw Gonzalez get hot at the beginning of, continue that in through the month of July, the Panthers got hot as well. So,
I mean, a guy that in many circles gonna get some looks for that IBL Player of the Month honor for the month of July. I don't believe it is out as of yet. There is some discussions behind that. That'll probably come out in the next couple of days once there's a consensus, and I'm sure his name has floated around quite a bit, as that's a small one here on Blake Jacklin.
yeah, I'm sure he'll get some consideration. When I left to come to the park today, I looked and it wasn't out yet. So,
Swing and a miss for strike one. They're taking on Hector Yan, who in his last outing as a pitcher was on July 28th in Chatham-Kent. He went 2 1/3 in that one, gave up 4 runs on 2 hits. Only 3 of those runs were earned, by the way. That one's delivered outside, trying to find that curve to go break, but it broke a little bit too much on that one for ball number 2. He's got a 4.20 ERA in 51 1/3 innings pitched. He struck out 47 and walked 40. That's a hopper. It's going to get over the glove of Garrett Takamatsu. And that's a base hit for Blake Jacklin, although that's going to be an error.
I would say that's an E3. But you'll take it any way you can get it.
Exactly.
Now that
Same can be said about Hector Yan last night, who, again, as I mentioned before, was the designated hitter for the Royals. Had what was called a single, but is an error all day, and ends up hitting a double his next time up. Guy had a good bat. Going into last night's game, he was only 0 for 1, but really displayed that ability to generate some power, that's for sure. He really showed that he can be a guy that you can count on to put deep into the lineup when your bench is a little short.
And that's a valuable piece to have because, as we've said on this broadcast many a times, this is a working man's league, and you never know when a guy's going to have to work late or work some overtime or go on vacation or whatever. So those days that your bench is short, throw a guy in like Hector Yan who isn't going to just almost be an automatic out. That's a big boon for you.
I mean, it's a former LA Angels farmhand. It's a guy that, of course, bounced around the minors until 2022, reached A-ball in 2019, was actually the 11th ranked prospect in the Angels system in 2021, according to The Athletic.
Wow. Huh. Now, again, we've talked about it before. Hector might have been one of those casualties of the
He definitely
2020
was.
pandemic season where the minor leagues just got
Good hop there, grab there by LaRue. Over to first, and it gets by Takamatsu. Jet Jarvis will scamper over to second base. A throwing error. So a pair of ease to start things off here for the Guelph Royals on defense.
Yeah, we had an E3, and that'll likely be an E5.
Simon Grinberg.
So over to third goes Jacklin. Jarvis goes to second.
Two on. Sorry.
Just like that, 36 errors have turned to 38 on the season for the Guelph Royals.
And as we said in the top half of the inning, you don't want to give these teams extra outs because the errors always seem to come around and bite you. It doesn't matter if it's in the first inning, the 7th inning, the 9th inning. And with the heart of the Panthers lineup coming up, Grinberg, Gonzalez, Parsons, these boys can do some damage, that's for sure.
Simon Grinberg, the batter.
Grinberg's off to a 236 average so far this year.
The delivery, swing and a miss for a strike.
And I've been watching Yan. His delivery's a little funky. He brings that left arm almost back behind his back all the way, so you don't see the ball until it's almost coming right out of his hand.
That gives you less time to really read the ball.
It does, yes.
It can be a factor. The 1-1, swing and a miss for strike 2. Grinberg on a 5-game hitting streak has hits in 6 of his last 7. So when you talk about, of course, Gonzalez and the hot streak that he's been on, a guy like Grinberg, despite losers of 6 straight ball games as a team, Grinberg's been a guy that they can count on. As that one's going to be flared into the outfield, perhaps. Will it drop? Yes, it will. 1 run will come in to score. Grinberg will run over to second. Nobody was covering second base, and that is a mistake if you're the Guelph Royals. Grinberg easily takes second, and we are tied at 1.
Yeah, if I'm the Royals brass,
Shortstop.
I am fuming right now. Not at the fact that there was a base hit, but I'm fuming at the fact that there was no covering second base, and you basically allowed Grinberg free 90 feet there. So the shortstop and the second baseman, for those of you who are listening on the radio, had to go out and try to catch that ball. So that's the pitcher or the first baseman have to see that those middle infielders are vacating that base, and one of those two players has to get their butt over there to avoid that happening.
There was nobody in the vicinity. Raul Gonzalez cues that one. No, good grab there by Morrow. Throw to first, not in time. And the Panthers have taken a 2-1 lead.
So Gonzalez will get an RBI single, an infield single. It'll all look the same on the box score. Jarvis comes in to score. Grinberg heads up base running, moves from second to third.
And now runners on the corners here for a guy that has been El Fuego.
Nick Parsons.
Hotter than a ghost pepper has been Nick Parsons. 18 straight ball games with a hit. And now has an opportunity here to do some mighty damage.
But is it hotter than this broadcast booth at Jack Coach Park?
Oh, it's a scorcher. I'm glad you brought the fan in.
My wife came home from work today and saw that I had the fan sit down there. She goes, "That's the best idea you've had all week." Doesn't say much for me, but
Hey, you have some brilliant ideas.
sometimes.
So Dino Ramel, the field manager, comes in to have a conversation with Hector, and obviously is going to stay in here. This is just a mound visit to try to stem the tide and try to maybe drain some of the energy a little bit that's been generated from this Panthers lineup here so far. 4 batters in. 4 guys have reached base. 2 of them have come in to score.
2 errors, 2 singles. And again, we talked about those errors always come back to haunt you. Sure enough, both runners that reached on an error have come in to score so far. And Parsons with 8 home runs, 30 RBI on the year, 7 walks.
So you think about the makeup of this 18-game hitting streak. A lot of them have admittedly been one-fers. A bunch of them he's been able to drive in some runs at the same time too. So that's another part of this hitting streak that has been of note here for Parsons is, not only is he getting on base, is he getting base hits, hasn't hit the long ball as often as you saw at the beginning of July, end of June.
Right.
But at the same time, too, driving in RBIs. He's got 6 RBIs in the last 4 games.
Yeah, and was only 3 RBIs behind Gonzalez for the team lead coming in tonight. Now Gonzalez just got another one there.
And again, as you mentioned, amongst the league leaders in RBI.
Yeah, so I'm sure that'll put Gonzalez. Well, Gonzalez was second. And if Parsons can pick some up here, which
it might there, as that one's going to be lined to Ethan Hammond, and it looks like Grinberg is not even going to chance it. Good throw back in by Ethan Hammond. It was a line to him in left field. He gets it back into the infield in a hurry, and Simon Grinberg has to stay put at third base.
Yeah, that ball was hit on such a frozen rope there. Grinberg maybe a little late getting back to the base to tag up, but again, that's a wise choice. I think Grinberg would have been DOA at the plate had he tested that arm there. With one out, and Spencer Ross, who's been getting it done lately, there's no point.
There's strike one on the aforementioned Ross, and yeah, you're right. A guy that really kind of came out of nowhere. Just a guy that has been just consistent, and that's what you want, and has been really generating conversation around the league for his consistency and his ability to just put the ball in play.
Yeah, hitting .361 on the year, 25 games, 72 at bats, 17 runs, 10 RBIs for Ross, 10 walks as well. So he's getting it done.
The 1-1 upstairs. 2 balls, 1 strike on Ross. Of course, working at second base here tonight.
And he's a guy who, again, you can put in a few different spots in the order and out in the outfield, or in the field as well too. Ross in his first IBL season, Lawrence University grad there.
Yeah, 3-1 count. Let's take a look at the defense for the Guelph Royals. Hammond, Williams, and Leader from left to right in the outfield. LaRue, Morrow, Burns, and Takamatsu in the infield, and Evan Ash is catching Hector Yon. The delivery well outside, and that'll load the bases yet again.
Yeah, another walk for Spencer Ross. That's his 11th of the year now. So now bases are loaded with only 1 out here.
And it's Eric Martin coming to the batter's box. He is the DH tonight, and he is a guy that knows how to put that ball over the fence. He's got 8 career home runs, 2 of them this season. You allude back to that 2022 year. He only played 8 games for the Panthers. There's a swing and a miss for strike one. Only played 8 games for the Panthers, hit 5 home runs in that time.
Yeah, he came in and was just knocking them out left, right, and center when he came in there. He's only gotten into 6 games for the Panthers so far this year. Sitting a .333 clip, 24 at-bats, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, 1 walk, 6 Ks, but an 1,100 OPS.
There's a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Martin, his last time out, went 3 for 5, crossed the plate 4 different times, and that all came in that 19-17 loss to Toronto. Chopper in the infield, fielded by Takamatsu, and Martin is not going to get there.
They got him on the tag. So that'll be a 3U, but the run does come in to score. Grinberg scampers home there.
That's right. 3-1 is the score now. Panthers have taken 3 runs here in the first.
So Gonzalez goes from second to third. Ross from first to second. So again, score that a 3U ground out for Eric Martin. He will get an RBI on the play as well.
And that's RBIs in 4 straight outings for Eric Martin now.
That's what you want to see. That bottom to middle part of the order, really getting it done. We talked about that on Sunday for the Welland Jackfish. Their 7, 8, 9 guys did a lot of damage, whereas on Sunday, the Panthers 7, 8, 9 guys didn't do a whole lot.
AJ Carosa swings and misses at that one. A baby blue bat swings through that baseball. It's an 0-2 count here now with 2 away.
Yeah, AJ's just got a short up here. Try to flail this ball out into the outfield, find some green.
The 0-2 well outside. Former Kitchener Junior Panther is AJ Carosis. And you go back to that game against Welland, and again, a guy that was just making contact. He did strike out once in that ball game late. That one's outside again, 2-2. Hit a double in the second inning of that game. Popped one up. Had one hit into the infield as well. It was retired on the 3-1. The 2-2. That misses down low.
That's a really good take from Carosis there. It's a big sweeping breaking ball from Yon.
And
just catching. Sorry, go ahead.
And when you think about those contacts that were made against the Welland Jackfish, it came on these lengthy at bats.
Oh, absolutely. And it goes back to
that one's hit into right field. Carosis brings in 1. He'll stop at second. Mishandled initially by Leader. 2 runs will come in to score. Make it 5-1 Panthers. They have 5 runs this inning.
And this is what you want to see from the Panthers. Just getting out to an early lead. You gave up the run in the top half of the inning, and you thought, Okay, so starting again.
Birdseye.
But to come back with 5 in the bottom half of the inning, at least 5. We don't know what else is going to happen. But the bottom of the order really, really getting it done for the Kitchener Panthers tonight.
Yes, they are. And here's Ryan Burnside, the ninth batter of the inning. Watches that one nearly misses on the inside edge for ball 1.
Now there's a front door breaking ball from beyond there that's just a little bit inside. You saw Burnside kind of buckle out of the way a little bit.
Former Hamilton Cardinal, former Toronto Maple Leaf. That one paints the outside edge this time. Evens the count at 1-1.
And he's got a new belt for his troubles, too.
He's got a little bit of power underneath it.
He does.
I mean, it's not as great as my belts. It's a world championship belt, by the way. 2-1 counts. That last one was delivered outside.
Burnside's gotten into 21 games for the Panthers this year. A .230 average. 2 dingers.
Knows how to put it out of the ballpark, that's for sure. Chopper fielded here by Morrow. He'll get the force out over at second, and that will do it for the inning. Panthers send 9 to the dish. They get 5 across. It's 5-1 Panthers over the Guelph Royals as we go to the second inning. Stay with us. This is Panthers TV on YouTube at 98.5 CKWR.
What can you do with a rendezvous? When your business needs a meeting space on demand, SwiftSpace has the solution. Introducing the Rendezvous Meeting Booth, a comfy booth for 6 that assembles in an instant. Fold it, store it, or move it to another room. The Rendezvous assembles in 2 minutes with no tools. The Rendezvous Meeting Booth by SwiftSpace, designed with the future in mind.
Welcome back to Kitchener Panthers Baseball on YouTube and 98.5 CKWR. Mark Pare and Mike Jarvis here in the broadcast booth here in Kitchener. Yes, Guelph fans, if you recognize my voice, I was the one calling the game at Hastings Stadium last night. I'm doing a bit of double duty. It's going to be a busy weekend, to say the very least. This is the front half of a home-and-home between these two teams. They'll meet again at Hastings Stadium at 7:30 on Saturday night. I get to travel to Guelph for that one as well. So
Racking up the kilometers on your car.
exactly, he gets hopefully Neil Srivastava is healthy enough to come back, but I don't know if he's watching this broadcast right now. We are thinking of you, Neil. Hope you get well as soon as you can. We do miss you in the broadcast booth over there in Guelph. It was a long one to call last night on my own. I will say it was a 15-3 blowout against the Barrie Baycats. All 3 games last night, in fact, were blowouts. Guelph tied for 3rd in the IBL standings with the London Majors.
Evan Ash.
And, of course, the Majors are off tonight. It is Welland and Barrie, battle of the top 2 teams in the league. The only other contest happening in the IBL this evening.
Yeah, and the Royals, they've pretty much solidified themselves one of the top 4 spots.
And that's what you want. Here's the 0-1 crack of the bat. Evan Ash over to first. Going to be retired on the 4-3 as Spencer Ross was shaded deep in the second base territory. Was able to field it cleanly and get it over to Nick Parsons.
Yeah, really nice play by Spencer Ross on the broken bat there. Those broken bat grounders sometimes can be really difficult because you see the barrel of the bat coming flying, and then you got to try to pick up the ball at the same time.
That one's upstairs and in for ball 1 on Carson Burns. Hit a home run last night against his former club, and in just his second game for the Royals since moving over from Barrie. That one's put into the seats and out of play.
Yeah, it was a very excellent swing. Had to
It
hit
was
the home run.
excellent. 26 degrees and partly cloudy here tonight in Kitchener. A little humid. It feels like 29 degrees. Might be just more muggy because we're in this broadcast booth, although it did feel a little bit hotter on the field when we were walking there earlier on tonight, as that's going to go in for strike number 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Evan Ash.
Yeah, not much of a breeze here. If you look at that flag out in center field, it is as still can be up there.
The 1-2. That's strike
Nice.
3. 3 strikeouts now for Yankiel Morris.
And that's 3 out of the last 4 batters that he's punched out as well, too.
Now batting for Guelph, number
Morris starting to feel it a little bit here.
And that's what you want to see if you're the Kitchener Panthers. Had to take a little bit to ease into it, hit the first batter that he saw. Morrow hits that double. Leader's retired on the F4, gives up the singles to Takamatsu and Williams, but has really started to find his groove in the last few batters.
Yeah, and hopefully he can be as advertised for the Panthers and really be a big addition to either the rotation or the back end of the bullpen, whatever the Panthers brass decide to do with him. And again, I do think he'll be deployed in both to try to get those innings and the appearances to qualify for the playoffs.
Into foul territory it goes, and it'll go out of play. First delivery to LaRue, painted the inside edge. That one there, a little bit more broke, but a good job there by LaRue to get back to baseball.
And LaRue, as you said, Mark, was hit by the pitch in the first inning, did come around to score the Royals' first run. Just trying to get on base any way he can. That was LaRue's 5th hit by pitch of the year. And 1 behind Josh Garton for the team lead.
The 1-2. Similar positioning there. Good block there by Burnside to keep it in front of him. Last couple of pitches from Yankiel is, breaking more to the outside, trying to paint that outside edge, trying to work the quadrants.
Yeah, and if he can get the called strike, great. And even if LaRue puts this in play,
He'll foul that one off.
he's probably going to roll over on it and, maybe ground out to third, ground out to short, and he can hopefully get a routine ground out to end the inning.
Settles in here for the 2-2. Swing, and he got a piece of it to stay alive.
There really is an art of pitching.
There really is.
I watch a lot of baseball, whether it be IBL, MLB, any of the minor leagues. It's pretty much what I do. And I'll be sitting at home on the couch and watching it. And I'll say, oh, this next pitch is going to be a high ball, or, this one's going to be a ball in the dirt. And my wife, she looks at it, she goes, where do you know this? Like, when you watch as much baseball as I do and you understand it, you pick up tendencies.
The 3-2 is going to be fielded here by Carosis over to first, and in time they'll get the out to get out of the inning. Yankiel Morris has retired 5 straight batters. It remains 5-1 Kitchener as we go to break. Stay with us. This is Kitchener Panthers TV on YouTube and 98.5 CKWR.
When you're looking for a baseball or softball cleat, the first thing you need to know is what sport do you play, softball or baseball? For softball, there are 3 kinds of cleats that are good for you. The turf cleat, the rubber cleat, or the TPU cleat, which is known as hard plastic. The turf cleat is made for hard surfaces, synthetic, and gives you the feel of a running shoe. The rubber cleat is a softer spike and is made for beginners to mid-level players. The TPU cleat is a harder spike, gives you better performance and more stability while running the bases. When we look at baseball cleats, the 3 same apply: the turf cleat, the rubber cleat, and the TPU cleat. For turf cleat, it is also available for coaches. Then we add the metal cleat. The metal cleat is used for bantam players and up, and elite players as well. Please verify with your local association and rulebook that the metal cleat is good for you. If you need more tips on baseball cleats or softball cleats, please come and see us at Source for Sports, because at Source for Sports, we know our stuff.
Welcome back to Panthers Baseball on YouTube and 98.5 CKWR. Mark and Mike here in the broadcast booth getting set for the bottom of the second. The Panthers 5, the Royals 1. Hector Yon on the bump for the Guelph Royals needed 38 pitches to get through the first inning. 20 of them went for strikes. So that really kind of tells you where Jan is having a little bit of a struggle finding the strike zone here in the early going. And when he does, the Panthers have been burning him.
Yeah, they've
But
been,
I think it's been more the defense as well on top of that.
yes, 2 errors to lead off the game on the Jacqueline and Jarvis at bats. That didn't help by any means, right? But the Panthers, they've been the ultimate opportunist tonight and really cashed in on those um, errors by the Royals.
Oh, you can see clearly on that one. That one's going to paint the outside for an 0-2 counts.
Jacqueline's trying to regroup here.
And he puts that one to life, but right into the glove of Carson Burns for the outs.
Yeah, that's a nice play by Burns there.
One out for Jet Jarvis, who reached base on an error the last time up.
Jet Jarvis.
And, I do think the Panthers, they really get a big boost with Jacqueline back in the lineup. Obviously, they're there, but it allows you to maneuver Jarvis. And Jarvis is one of the keys to this Panthers lineup, because he can handle the bat so well. So when Jacqueline's here, you've got some opportunities. You can put him Jarvis first. You can put Jarvis second. You can put him down in that 9 spot, to turn the order over. It really, really, really gives you more looks that you can work with.
Of course, hitting 280 on the season. Not really a home run hitter, despite being in the Panthers system for 4 seasons in the IBL. Has just the 1 home run to his record. That came back in 2022.
And it's not part of his game, right? And that's fine. Not everybody's going to be the big slugger that knocks it out of the park. You need the guys that can lay down the bunt. You need the guys that can drop it into left field for a double. Steal a base.
Absolutely. Facing a 3-1 count off the end of the bat to Burns. Over to first, and Jarvis will be retired on the 4-3.
Yeah, Burns is getting a lot of action so far here in the second inning.
Of course,
Now
at that spot, Simon Grinberg will come over
Grinberg.
to bat. Was a regular for the Baycats for a number of seasons. Played a number of games in the infield for the Baycats. Comes over, brings a lot of experience. Of course, 6th IBL season overall. That one's going to be fouled off. A guy that was part of those IBL championship teams.
Absolutely. And he's got a really, really sure-handed glove over there at second base as well, too.
You want to see. As that one's going to go well outside to even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. And you need that defense to really get going for you. Because, again, this pitching staff has just been unbelievable all season. A 3.34 ERA as a unit. Hector Jan, a big part of that. Jacob Cush came in and pitched 3 innings last night. Some people were wondering, why don't you save him for the weekend? Get him a start. Best pitcher in the IBL, in my opinion at least, as that one's going to go in on the hands. It's going to roll through the infield, but they're going to call that one.
Yeah, they're saying that was foul.
Yes. May have deflected off of Grinberg before it reached the infield. But again, Jacob Cush, in my opinion, one of the best pitchers in the IBL, if not the best, at least when it comes to ERA. You save that arm possibly for a start. No, get him in there for 3 innings. He hasn't pitched in 10 days. And of course, Yuki Narita had a great game last night.
He did.
For the Royals. 6 innings of work, went for 6 hits, 2 runs, struck out 8, 116 pitches. The 3-2 put up high, deep into left field, and that's going to drop foul. But again, you think about that pitching staff. Yuki Narita, Jacob Cush, Hector Jan, who's not looking too shabby here tonight as well.
And Narita's kind of a guy who almost gets overlooked on that pitching staff.
I think he does. Even Grills as well. Of course, he's only pitched in 3 games for the Royals this season as Grinberg takes the walk. Reese Montgomery, who has been a regular to come out of the pen. Brandon Deans, another one that's a regular to come out of the pen. How about a guy like Darren Shred, Brett Reed as well?
Yeah. And, the bullpen.
Or sorry, Ben Reed.
Right.
I got my Ben and Brett's mixed up. Swing and a miss by Raul Gonzalez for strike one.
And, the bullpen has just been lights out for the Royals as well, too. They've really done a good job of assembling a really, really good staff. And, in the playoffs, with the first two rounds, of course, being best out of five, that's a big weapon to have.
Yes, it is. But they need to start piling runs like they did last night. Swing and a miss for strike two. Of course, eighth in the IBL with 174 runs. But again, when you're only giving up 118 by contrast, tops in the IBL, you can afford to win those 6-5 games, those 3-2 games. Get those quick 2.5 hour games under your belt and come out with a W. The 1-2, it's going to hit Gonzalez, perhaps. He flinched as if it did, as Simon Grinberg goes over to second.
Grinberg was taking off on the pitch as it was. That's going to go in for a ball to level the count 2-2.
Yeah, Gonzalez may have just reacted as if he just wanted to take the base.
Yeah.
The 2-2, right across Broadway for strike three, and that will end the inning. They strand a runner, but it remains 5-1 Kitchener as we go to break. Third inning upcoming. Stay with us. This is Panthers Baseball on YouTube at 98.5 CKWR.
At Mucho Burrito, the average order takes less than 6 minutes. Or does it? Our salsa. Those pickled onions. And the chicken. All so you can taste the time without having to take the time. Ooh, my carnitas are ready.
Welcome back to Panthers Baseball on YouTube at 98.5 CKWR. Mark Pare, Mike Jarvis in the broadcast booth, and just a little bit more on Yankiel Morris as we're starting to learn a little bit more about him in this outing. Efficiency is starting to pick up for him. You look at the first inning, 26 pitches needed to get out of it. Comes back in the second, gets a 1-2-3 inning on 14 pitches.
Yeah, and, if you can keep yourself around that 12 to 15 pitch mark for an inning, that's your objective for a starting pitcher or even a reliever. And once you go deep into the games, it means you probably don't have many stressful counts, many stressful pitches as well, too. So it's a big plus for you and your team.
The righty's going to take on Connor Morrow. It's a quick conversation between Morris and his battery mate, Ryan Burnside, before we get things started here in the third inning. That one's sent out of play.
Morrow had the double in the top of the first. It was stranded on third. Good pitching by Morris to leave all those runners out there. The Royals, they loaded the bases.
That's in for a strike.
In the top of the first after they already brought a run in. That could have got real ugly for the Panthers real quick. Morris buckled down, was able to get out of the inning.
Morris had a 7-1 record with Sancti Spiritus this past year in the Cuban National Series. 7-1 record, also 8 saves. So what does that tell you, partner? A good record and a few saves to boot.
Yeah, it tells me that, whoever's in charge there has... I'll get back to that in a minute.
As that's a fly ball to center field. Jacqueline will get underneath it, make the catch.
It tells me that he's comfortable pitching in all situations, whether it's starting, whether it's coming in, relieving with the game on the line.
Andy Leader.
So should be a real plus for this Panthers pitching staff who ranks towards the bottom of the league in most pitching categories.
So bring up Andy Leader, of course, for Morris. From what I understand, maybe some visa issues. That's what was holding up him coming here to Kitchener. Finally gets in here right at the tail end of the season. A 3.30 ERA, 40 strikeouts to 19 walks in his time with Sancti Spiritus. That
So
one's upstairs.
almost 2-to-1 strike to walk ratio. That's pretty good.
Of course, as mentioned before, former teammates with Junior Ibarra, as that one's going to be fouled off.
And there's nice to have that familiarity there. Throwing to a guy who you've known for years, be thrown to. You start to get a rhythm. You start to get familiar with what your pitcher wants to do in certain counts and when he faces certain hitters.
It's a 1-2 count here on Leader. The delivery, swing and a miss. They got him. Fourth strikeout for Yankiel Morris.
He had Andy out in front on that breaking ball there that was down almost in the left-handed batter's box.
Now batting.
Real nice pitch by Morris there.
Garrett Takamatsu.
Here comes Garrett Takamatsu, the first baseman, singled his last time up.
Yeah, big RBI single to get the Royals on the board. And that's all the damage they've been able to muster so far here in the top of the third with 2 outs.
Longtime Maple Leaf. The delivery ran across Broadway for strike one. Again, Rookie of the Year in 2018. Played a part of the 2023 edition of the Quebec Capitals in the Frontier League. The delivery swinging him, got a piece of it at the end of the bat to foul it off. Of course, dealt with injuries, came back, was actually the manager of the Maple Leafs at one point.
He was, yes.
Spent 3 seasons in Central Oklahoma. IBL MVP in 2021. Of course, helped the Maple Leafs advance all the way to the IBL final, only to lose to the London Majors. That one's upstairs.
That was a great final in 2021.
It really was. You think about the bat that Takamatsu was able to add to that lineup. That was a potent lineup,
It
to say the
was.
very least.
The IBL's version of Murderer's Row.
Here comes the 1-2. Well outside, 2-2. Castaldo, Takamatsu. You have the conductor himself and Jonathan Salazzo.
Yeah, it was just 1 through 9. Anyone could beat you that night.
Justin Morrow was hitting like crazy in that season. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 5 Ks for Yankiel, and we will go to a quick break. We come back, bottom of the third, here at Jack Couch. It's 5-1 Kitchener over Guelph. Welcome back to Panthers Baseball on YouTube at 98.5 CKWR. He's Mike, I'm Mark. It's 5-1 Kitchener as we head to the bottom of the third. One of 2 games happening in the IBL. The other one, it's a battle of the top 2 teams in the league. Right now, it is top of the fourth in Barrie with 2 away. The Baycats have a 1-0 lead on the Welland Jackfish.
Yeah, and that's going to be a heck of a game between those 2 teams right there, battling for that top spot in the IBL division. Of course, Welland clinching home field advantage the other day.
May have heard me on the broadcast last night thinking of what the pitching rotation might look like for the Baycats going into the weekend. Well, I'm 1 for 1. I guessed Frank Garces was going to go in tonight's game. He is on the bump. as taking strike one, not even thinking about swinging there, is Nick Parsons.
And Nick Parsons hit the ball well in the bottom of the first inning, but unfortunately it was just a line shot out to the left field.
That one's in the infield. Going over to play first is Jan. Good defense there by the Royals. And Parsons is retired on the 3-1.
Yeah, smart play by Jan. He knew right away that that was going to be fielded over at first base by Takamatsu, and Jan immediately didn't even look to see Takamatsu get it, just broke for the base instinctively. Real nice heads up play there by Hector Jan, who, after a long first inning, settled down in the second inning and had a relatively easy first batter here, the third inning rather.
Spencer Ross will step in here, a right-handed hitter. Delivered, paints the black for strike one.
Had a big walk in the first inning for the Panthers, came around to score on the 2-run single by AJ Carrozas.
The 0-1 checked on the swing, and they're going to appeal to first. He did not go around, evens the count at 1-1 strike. Ross, a Mississauga native, actually recently celebrated his 24th birthday.
Oh, to be young again.
Yes, indeed. 0-1. That one down under the knees. 2-1 strike.
Of course, Ross still trying to work away to get as many at-bats as he can to qualify for the playoffs.
That one's going to go out of play.
He's getting a little closer.
Yes, he is. Well, he's already qualified for the postseason.
Right.
He would need more at-bats in order to qualify to be among the league leaders,
Yes.
per se.
Yes.
So again, you need 3.1 plate appearances per team game. Not quite at that as of yet. Blocked there by Evan Ash. Keeps it in front of him.
Yeah,
Full count here.
I think he's just about there, if I remember correctly.
So for the Kitchener Panthers, of course, tonight,
This is their 32nd game.
32nd game. The delivery. Fielded it here by the shortstop over to first and in time. Good delivery there by Connor Morrow over at short to get it over.
So here it's got 32nd game.
Now that our designated hitter number 67, Eric Martin.
And here comes 67, Eric Martin, as Mike Jarvis is going to do a bit of math right here.
Math was never my strong suit.
Why do you think I took broadcasting and journalism? Swing and a miss for strike one.
So, quick math. This is the 32nd game. 32 times 3.1, be 99.2.
And remember, it's plate appearances, not at bats.
Right.
It's a 1-1 count here on Martin. The delivery holds off on the swing. Peel over to third confirms that. 2-1 strike on the big DH.
And now Ross, just to finish this is his 93rd plate appearance.
So he's getting there.
He is. He's getting there.
You get him into a few more games, you get about 4 or 5 at-bats per game, especially if you're putting him near the top of the lineup. Of course, right now he is batting in the 6th spot. The 3-1 swing, and that's a foul tip. 3-2 count.
Martin took a big hack there on that 3-1 pitch.
Jan. The delivery, swing and a miss. He got him. A much-needed 1-2-3 inning for the Guelph Royals, who trail by 4 as we head to the 4th here at Jack Couch. 5-1 Kitchener is your score. We'll go to break. Stay with us. This is Kitchener Panthers Baseball on YouTube at 98.5 CKWR.
Cross.
Welcome back to Panthers Baseball on YouTube and 98.5 CKWR. Mike Jarvis and Mark Pare here in the broadcast booth. 5-1 is your score. So we head to the top of the fourth. Yankiel Morris remains in the game. He's looked great here in his first IBL start since coming over from Cuba. Actually arrived here in Canada yesterday.
Yeah, so
And yeah, he's a guy that is going to be part of this pitching staff for the remainder of 2024. And it's a big welcome addition, to say the very least.
it is not much time to get
Leading off the top.
used to Canada and whatnot. Hey, you're here.
J.D. Williams.
Here's your mitt. Here's your uniform. Get out there and let's see what you got.
Here's your double-double.
Here's your double-double.
I believe that is mandatory when you arrive in Canada. You're given a complimentary double-double.
I think so.
Yep.
You get through customs and it's there waiting for you.
The delivery, that's going to go across for a strike on J.D. Williams. I mean, Tim Hortons is right there at Pearson.
It is.
You might as well.
You might as well. Williams with a single in the first inning.
They'll foul that one off. Speaking of arrivals as well, we're learning as well that Drew Durst, who was recently acquired by the Guelph Royals, not expected to play tonight, of course, not in the starting lineup, but arriving into the region earlier on today. The 0-2, that one misses inside. So, a guy that might, get into the lineup possibly as early as Saturday. Get acquainted with his mates here tonight, see the ball game, and see what Saturday holds. That one goes downstairs.
The Royals, they made a couple pickups out deadline, with, of course, being 11:59 on Monday night. Drew Durst and Justice McGee coming in.
The 2-2. That one is hammered into right field. It'll drop. It'll go all the way back near the fence, circling around, putting on his jets and standing up, sliding in. J.D. Williams into second base he goes.
So Williams in his first two at-bats has a single and double. Could we have cycle watch again tonight?
Hey, maybe. We had two guys on cycle watch against Welland the other night.
We did.
And they were the 7-8 batters.
This is not Josh Garton.
Now batting for the Guelph Royals, number 50, Ashton Patterson.
So Ashton Patterson now coming into the ball game for Josh Garton. So breaking news here, the DH has been switched up. Josh Garton comes out of the ball game, and Ashton Patterson comes in to take his spot. The delivery squared up the bunt there. Misses outside, 1-0.
I don't know if there was an injury or what happened with Garton there, but it seems a little odd that Garton would come out of the game in the fourth inning.
Well, maybe resting him up for Saturday if he is indeed not 100%. There's a swing and a miss for strike one.
It could be. I'm trying to look over to the Royals bench.
Well, I can see Garton inside the dugout. Doesn't really look worse for wear. Maybe it's just a small thing that he doesn't want to turn into something bigger, especially with the run that the Royals could potentially go on in the last couple of weeks of the season.
Yeah, could be.
You don't want to take chances, especially with a guy like him.
No, definitely not. So Patterson hitting .230 on the year in 18 games for the Royals, 50 at-bats.
The 2-1, swing and a miss.
He's got one dinger, 4 RBIs. I don't know about you, but I'm here to see some dingers.
Does it have the camera in the bat?
It might.
Like it does in that one episode?
It might.
All right. It's the 70, folks. The 70, but the 0 is actually a camera. It's actually points to a satellite. That one's gonna hop over the glove of Carosis. That is a Jack Couch Park bounce and a half in the infield, and Ashton Patterson will get on board. Runners on the corners here for the Royals with nobody away.
Yeah, really, really funky hop there. I feel bad for AJ Carosis as that almost takes his head off there. He did everything right. He circled over. He was square to the ball, ready to make that play, and just took one of those Jack Couch hops right over him. That's a single, but tough for AJ.
Absolutely. It's just one of those plays. Even some of the best players playing in the professional leagues, when you get a hop like that, it's a weird one. It can really take you off kilter. Not too many players are able to make that play. Squaring up to bunt there was Ethan Hammond. He pulls back. It is strike one, though, as it goes across black.
So we've got runners on the corner, nobody out here. Top of the fourth. Panthers lead the Royals 5-1. Morris trying to limit the damage here.
Now, a little bit longer of pitch count here in this inning. The 0-1 is playable in left field. Grinberg chasing it down, and he makes the catch.
Really nice grab by Grinberg there.
And a better throw back into the infield. He keeps J.D. Williams on third base.
Yeah, really, really good play by Grinberg all around. Had to slide to make the catch and then instantly pop up. Uncorked an absolute laser home to keep Williams at third.
That ball had the tracking of a shark, that's for sure, as it goes right to home plate. And a good job by Burnside, too. He fielded it, even though, Patterson, or rather Williams, wasn't actually attempting to go home. Keeps that in front of him, or else if it gets in behind him, throw over to second. No, they're not going to throw it. And an easy stolen base for Patterson. But that block there by Burnside, I pointed out because the way he's able to block it, he keeps it in front of him. If it gets in behind him, well, just forget about that throw because J.D. Williams is going to score easily.
Oh, absolutely. And Patterson would have been on second as it was. He is on second now, but, it changes the whole complexion of this at-bat from Evan Ash.
It's an 0-1 count here on Mr. Ash, as he'll cue that one into the parking lot to the right of Jack Couch.
So if you're the Panthers, if I tell you right now that you'll get 5 innings from Morris tonight, he'll lead with a 5-2 lead. Are you happy with that as a debut?
I'm happy in the sense that you're going to be wanting to use him in a number of different situations as things go along. At minimum, right now, your concern is trying to qualify him for the playoffs, as that one goes upstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Right.
And in order to qualify him for the playoffs, you need an outing like this where you get one of your 5 appearances out of the way and you get half of your innings out of the way right off the bat, and you still got a couple of weeks to get him in, plug him in, get an inning here and there. You might get a 2-inning affair at some point too. The 1-2 is also going to be put out of play.
Yeah, I think the important thing today is to get, as you said, Mark, at least half the innings you need to qualify. So if you can get the 5 innings and leave with a lead, that's yeoman's work right there.
Could come out with your first career IBL victory at the end of the night as well.
Yeah,
Morris gets set up.
That would be no small feat, beating one of the top teams in the league. Again, a lot of ball game left in this game so far.
And that one kept in front by Burnside. Can tell you out of town as well, it remains a 1-0 lead for Barrie over Welland, still in the bottom of the 4th. With 1 away, the Baycats are up to bat in that one. 5-1 is the score here. Kitchener over Guelph. Top of the 4th, and this at-bat continues. Evan Ash is really making contact with that baseball and really wasting some of these pitches.
He is. He's spoiling them, just fouling off pitch after pitch after pitch. Really good at bat from Evan Ash here. He's trying to get that pitch count up of Morris.
Well, it's up in the 70s now. Fielded there, over to home, and not in time. Mishandled there by Burnside. Play at third, and he got him. So the runner's going to come in to score, but gunned down at third is Ashton Patterson.
Yeah, so score a fielder's choice RBI for Evan Ash, but then score the putout on Patterson, a 2-5.
Now batting second baseman number 7, Carson Burns.
Again, here to educate and entertain here in this ballpark. Well,
if we can
5-2 is the score.
If we can do at least one of the two, we're doing well. Entertain or educate.
I was not always great at one or the other. Came with time.
That's right.
All comes with reps in this field.
It does. You got to take your chops.
You do. Taking chops now is Carson Burns, and he chops that one into the outfield. Into center. Jacqueline gets underneath it, and he'll make the catch. They'll strand a runner, and it is 5-2 now. The Kitchener Panthers leading the Guelph Royals as we go to break. Bottom of the fourth upcoming. Stay with us. This is Panthers Baseball on YouTube at 98.5 CKWR.
Leonard Thompson, 13 years old, diabetes mellitus, 65 pounds.
Starve the child to let them live. The treatment's as cruel as the disease. It's a death sentence.
Dr. Banting, this could be it. He's the first to receive this trial. But will it save him?
It's not pure enough.
So we try again. And again. And again.
Before the discovery of insulin, diabetes was a death sentence. Banting, Best, Collop, and McLeod's breakthrough has saved millions of lives. Leonard Thompson's was the first.
Welcome back to Panthers Baseball on YouTube and 98.5 CKWR. Hector Jan has gone through 3 innings, 72 pitches needed to get through those 3. It's 5-2 Kitchener now as the Royals tacked on a run in the top half of the inning. Mark Pare, Mike Jarvis here with you as we will see the 8-9-1 batters come in for the Panthers. Carosis, Burnside, and Jacqueline.
Yeah, and Jan, he gave up the 5 runs in the first inning, aided by 2 errors. Since then, he's given up a walk to Grinberg with 2 outs in the second, and that's it.
Yeah, he's retired 6 of his last 7 batters. And you even look at that third inning, Michael. 58 pitches needed to get through 2. Goes into the third, gets a 1-2-3 inning, and only needed 14 pitches to get through it.
Yeah, again, getting down to be economical there. Really, really good pitching by Hector Jan in the third. Didn't allow a ball out of the infield.
Swing and a miss by Carosis for strike 1.
2 ground outs and a strikeout, and that's what you want. That's an easy inning.
Jan will set up again. The lefty puts that one under the knees, evens the count at 1-1.
Carosis, of course, had the big blow in the first inning, that 2-run, 2-out single.
Takes for strike 2.
And it seems like whenever you can get a 2-out hit, score some runs, that just does wonders for your confidence.
1-2 is going to go over the glove of Ash. Looks like that was a lacrosse-style one-hopper into the fencing.
It did. Of course, you'll be on the call with Six Nations Lacrosse tomorrow night.
Yeah, game 3 of that the MSL semifinal. Six Nations in Coburg. Coburg almost got him last night, but Six Nations ends up coming back and collecting the win to take a 2-0 series lead. Of course, still undefeated in 2024. It's pretty much an all-star team that one fouled away.
Good for them.
I mean, when you have Dane Smith, Lyle Thompson, Austin Stotts, those are 3 of the best players in the world, folks, and all 3 of them on the floor at the same time. That one's going to be put into the outfield. Into center it goes, and A.J. Carosis is 2 for 2.
Yes, they are some of the best in the world at what they do.
Yes, they are. Cody Jamieson, of course, the captain there, of course, plays for Halifax in the NLL.
Ryan Burnside.
And then in net, you have a guy like Doug Jamieson that was the goaltender for Albany in the NLL final this past season against Buffalo. Of course, the Bandits winning their 2nd straight NLL championship. Dane Smith, the MVP of the playoffs. now his teammate
Right.
in Six Nations. Going for a Man Cup. Guelph Royals going for an IBL championship. Same with the Panthers. The road to the Dominico Trophy ongoing as that one's flared into right field. It'll be caught by Leader on the run.
And of course, for those new listeners or viewers that we have, the IBL playoffs will start here in just over 2 weeks.
Yeah, August 18th is the final day of the regular season. The schedule comes out shortly after that. Usually every team makes it, but now with a 9th team introduced, it's 1 through 8 and 9. Well, they got to take a back seat until 2025.
That's right, and we're in for a heck of a finish here. The Maple Leafs, the Panthers, the Red Sox all battling for those 7 and 8 spots.
That one is going to be called a ball.
And we'll have every Panthers home game for you here on YouTube.
Yep, I'll be in Hastings for as many games as I can get into. Of course, when you got the Man Cup with Six Nations, trying to balance my schedule as much as I can to call as many games as I possibly can. There are inevitably going to be some scheduling conflicts in between. Baseball's, of course, my first love, so you guys will get my priority.
Yeah, it is a busy time of year.
It really is. And less than a month away from OHL training camp. There's a delivery right across the black. 2 balls and 1 strike here on Blake Jacklin, who reached on an error his first time up, lined out to the second baseman back in the second.
And he's made things happen on his introduction back into the lineup after a little bit of a vacation.
The 2-1 holds off on the swing, but it's going to go across anyway, evens the count again at 2-2.
And of course, the further on that you get into the IBL playoffs, you do start to lose some players to going back to school.
Luckily for the Panthers, they don't really have too many. Blake Jacklin is going to be the big one that they lose going into the postseason. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Strike him out, throw him out. Yes, they got him. The Royals face the minimum. Gunned down at second was AJ Carosis trying to steal the bag, but Evan Ash puts up the stop sign and says, oh, no, we're going to a break. Stay with us. This is Kitchener Panthers Baseball on YouTube and 98.5 CKWR.
And he can lift anything at all. He's that strong.
Joe Schuster, will you stop it or you'll miss your train? Now help me find number 5.
Strong, but by day he's a mild-mannered reporter. Glasses, a secret identity.
Honestly, you Canadian kids.
He'd be in this cape.
A what?
A cape, wearing these blue tights.
A hero in tights, really. Here it is.
Listen, Lois, this guy is faster than anything, I swear.
If you're not fast, you're gonna miss your train.
That's it. A bullet. He's faster. No, he's faster than a speeding bullet.
Come on, get on it. No one's gonna read a comic strip about a strong man in tights, Joe. It'll never fly.
Fly, no. But he can leap over tall buildings. Oh, wow, yeah.
See what your cousin Frank says in Toronto.
Wait, Lois. I've got something for you. Here, take it. It's a gift. You never know. It might be worth something someday. Is he great or what? Bye-bye, Lois.
Welcome back to Panthers Baseball on YouTube and 98.5 CKWR. The Kitchener Panthers 5, the Guelph Royals 2, top 5 here at Jack Couch under the lights. Yankiel Morris gets in for his 5th inning of work.
Yeah, and Morris, he's come as advertised. He's gone 4 innings so far, given up 2 runs, 1 in the first, 1 in the fourth. Panthers would love for him to get through this 5th inning here. Qualify, will leave to be in line for the win, and
The 5th, 4th.
Let the bullpen take it from here.
Third baseman, Brando LaRue.
Brando LaRue will step in here. Quick out-of-town scoreboard update. Barry has now tacked on another run. Bottom 5. Barry 2, well, and no score. And Barry's won their last two meetings head-to-head with the Baycats, as that one's going to be flared into right field. Getting over, and it goes all the way back to the fence. LaRue circling around two. Does he have enough? No, he's going to stay at second. He was thinking three, folks, but LaRue thinks better of it.
I was going to say, I know we've talked a lot about cycles and triples in this ballpark for the last few weeks. That's where you got to hit it in this ballpark.
And with the wheels that LaRue was circling in the bags with, he was thinking about it.
I thought he was going to go. But again, it's the old adage. You never want to make the first or third out at third base, right? Especially we're halfway through this game. You're trailing the Panthers by 3 runs. It might have been a different story if you were up 3 runs. But, we're midway through this game. You're down. You need base runners.
They got one here, as that one's going to go in on the back. Great grab there by Spencer Ross at second.
Yeah, really nice play by Spencer Ross there. One of those in-betweens. It's not a pop-up. It's not a line drive. Hit off the handle a little bit. Ross had to show his hops off there and was able to nab it.
And for Spencer Ross, 5'7", really climbed the ladder on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Good play by Ross to stay with that and nab that. Otherwise, that's going to bloop into shallow right center. And with LaRue's speed, may have been able to come all the way home on that.
Andy Leader will come in, 0 for 2 tonight. Runner on second base with 1 away.
He's got a pop up to second in the first inning and a strikeout swinging in the third.
Facing a 1-0 count, he takes the first pitch. Yankiel gets the sign. The delivery. Got a piece of it, did Leader, but it's going to go back to his former team's dugout.
I've seen a lot of baseball in this ballpark over the last 11 years. Andy Leader has one of the nicest swings I've ever seen come through here.
And he swings it with such confidence.
And it's so effortless.
It really is. It's why he's been able to pile up first team and second team All-Star selections the last 3 seasons. The 1-1. And he gets underneath that one. It's playable in left field. Simon Grinberg will get underneath it. He'll make the catch.
Yeah, just got under that a little bit there, did Andy Leader. A little too high. I'll bring up Takamatsu. Down, 1 on.
Garrett Takamatsu.
Of course, Takamatsu had the RBI single back in the first inning to score LaRue.
North York native. As we talked about before, played with the Maple Leafs for 5 seasons. Comes into the lineup here for the Guelph Royals here in 2024. Of course, familiar with Dino Ramel. The two of them first met when Takamatsu was just a tyke playing through the baseball ranks with the Ontario Blue Jays. And looks like he's going to call for time here.
Takamatsu hitting .275 on the season coming into tonight's game. 3 dingers, 20 RBIs, 7 walks. He's gotten into 23 games, this, of course, being his 24th for the Royals.
Yankiel gets set. And that one just misses inside. Tried to paint the black on the inside edge, but just missed.
Yeah, that's a good pitch by Morris there. Tried the old front door breaking ball. Takamatsu swings at that. It's probably going to go in off the handle and be a grounder over to third.
He takes off. Throw over to third, and that's going to get past him into the outfield. Coming in to score is Brando LaRue on the throw. It'll be an error charged to Burnside. 5-3 is now the score.
So the pitch was taken for a strike. Give LaRue the stolen base because he would have got in on the stolen base, and then he comes in to score on the error.
That's a run that you need if you're the Guelph Royals. Try to get some confidence underneath those bats.
And again, it goes back to what we were saying in the opening. You don't want to give the Royals those extra outs.
No, and there's a swing and a miss there for Takamatsu. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, and Burnside, in hindsight, would have been better off holding that ball. It was going to be a close play at third base anyway. With 2 outs, as a former catcher, I maybe would have just ate it.
1-2, well outside.
Because you got to figure with LaRue's speed, he's going to score, obviously, if it's a single or something. He's probably going to score if the ball's bobbled on the infield anyway.
So it's a 2-2 count here on Takamatsu. Gets it off the end of the bat. Fielded there by Nick Parsons, and he'll get in there uncontested, unassisted. The 3U retires the side, but 1 run comes in to score. The Guelph Royals now trail by 2 as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Kitchener 5, Guelph 3. We'll be back after this. Don't go anywhere. This is Kitchener Panthers Baseball on YouTube at 98.5 CKWR.
Viens, Abby. Imzedi.
Téléphone.
Yeah, but you told me that. Okay. I wanted the day off. I knew they wouldn't leave me alone. But I couldn't let the guys down.
That night in 1944, Montreal beat Detroit 9-1. Maurice Rocket Richard scored 8 points, 5 goals, 3 assists. A legend was born.
Back to Panthers baseball on YouTube at 98.5 CKWR. Hector Yon remains in the ball game here, going into his 5th inning of work. The Kitchener Panthers remain in the lead. Those 5 runs in the first still holding up as the Panthers lead at 5-3 on the Guelph Royals here on a Thursday night at Jack Couch Park. Jet Jarvis, Simon Grinberg, Raul Gonzalez due up here for the Panthers, the heart of the order for the home side.
Yeah, Jarvis officially 0 for 2 tonight, reaching on an E5 in the first inning and a 4-3 grand out in the second.
That one misses down low for ball 1.
And if you're the Panthers, the fact that you've gotten 5 runs on the Royals so far in basically 4+ innings, that's got to be encouraging. In the 3 games prior to tonight, total, you've only got 10 runs against the Royals as it was all year.
No, 13. Still, 13 runs in 3 games. Not exactly the greatest.
Right. I looked at the wrong column there.
Hector can't believe that delivery. The call by home plate umpire Chris Long. It's a 3-0 count here on Hector. He's going to take an extra breather here off the bump.
And that's smart by Hector. You know, you're a little amped up after that last ball that you thought was a strike.
And that's going to go across Broadway for strike 1.
And what I like from Hector there, most people on the 3-0 count, you know, they just say, here's the fastball, but if you can, with Jarvis taking the walk there. But Yon threw him a 3-0 breaky ball.
Now batting left field.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Let's see if it pays off.
Well, we have a runner on first if you're the Kitchener Panthers, and that'll bring up Simon Grinberg.
Grinberg had the RBI single in the first and had a walk in the second. So he's been on base each time tonight. See if Grinberg can at least advance Jarvis over into scoring position.
He's come up big. Throw over to second or to first. Misses Takamatsu. Circling around second is Jarvis. He's going to go to third. Play at third. That one's going to miss the third base. But Jarvis is going to stay over at third.
Wow.
Oh, what a calamity of errors there by the Guelph Royals and some heads-up base running by Jet Jarvis.
That is a calamity of errors. So it'll be an E1 on Yon, allowing Jarvis to go all the way over to third. You probably could have scored an E3 on Takamatsu, but Jarvis didn't advance. Had Jarvis advanced from third to home and scored there, I would have scored that in E3. I would have put 2 errors on the play.
One thing I will mention is that one's going to get by the second baseman Burns and into right field. And a base hit for Simon Grinberg. Getting into score here is Jet Jarvis.
So an RBI single for Grinberg. That's the second of the day.
Now batting shortstop.
So this will bring up Raul Gonzalez with a runner on. It's 6-3 Panthers now. And the one thing I wanted to point out, Tack has been a little off tonight over at first base, but there's been a number of times where there's been throws over that goes over yonder to first and hasn't exactly been able to field the ball cleanly. Although some of his defensive compatriots, some of those throws haven't exactly been on line most of the time.
Yeah, they've been a little wary, to say the least.
The 1-0 to Gonzalez, and he'll foul that one up.
And it goes back to what we were talking about at the top half of the broadcast, not giving these teams extra outs. When you give them extra outs, bad things generally happen.
The 1-1 inside, but it paints the edge. Gonzalez can't believe it as he will step out of the batter's box and will have to deal with 1 ball and 2 strikes.
This is the second time tonight Gonzalez has not liked a strike call against him. Of course, he went down looking in the second inning.
The 1-2 swing. He got a piece, but that's into the glove. That's a strikeout. And that'll be the first out of the inning.
So bring up Parsons with 1 on, 1 out. Parsons has hit the ball hard both times today. A line out in the first inning and a ground out to first in the third inning. So doesn't have a hit yet to keep that hitting streak going.
Yeah, 18 games strong it is for Mr. Parsons. Looking to make it 19 in a row. It's the second longest hitting streak in the IBL this season. As that's going to go across for a strike.
I think it was his last at-bat on Sunday that he extended his streak in, if I remember correctly.
Well, let me go back
I want to say the 7th or 8th inning.
It was in the 7th inning. He was 0 for 3 and hit a single in the 7th with 2 away. The delivery, swing and a miss. He was chasing that one.
Look at that. I can remember something.
You have a good memory.
Sometimes.
You ate your Snickers, didn't you?
Do like Snickers.
It's a good chocolate bar.
It's the top tier for me.
The delivery to the plate, that'll be fouled off. Really top tier.
Yeah.
Number 1.
It's number 1 for me.
Wow. Okay, shoot. Top 3.
Snickers?
We'll do it in between some of these
Okay,
minutes.
okay.
So it's an 0-2 count here on Parsons. Little livery upstairs.
Okay, so question. Do M&M's count as a chocolate bar?
They're not a bar, then.
But wait, what if it's the peanut butter? What if it's the peanut M&M chocolate bar?
I mean, that's just a lot of chocolate.
It is.
Here comes the 1-2 from Hector Young. Holds off on the swing and goes into the dirt. Ash protects it. They appealed over to first. He didn't go around.
Okay.
Actually, he did.
Ooh.
They're going to say he went around. That was a weird call, to say the very least. So Nick Parsons goes down on strikes.
So I'll bring up Spencer Ross. Ross, a walk in the first and a ground out to short in the third. So if M&M's don't count, Snickers 1.
Okay.
Reese's 2.
I mean, that's on everybody's top 3.
Caramel 3.
Okay. The delivery to the plate for strike 1. Spencer Ross calling that one, of course, Chris Long, the home plate umpire.
But if M&M's do count, take out caramel and put peanut M&M's.
Okay. I like it. The 0-1. Outside. 2-1. Okay, Reese's, number 1. Absolutely. An underrated chocolate bar here in Canada. Coffee Crisp.
That's number 4 for me.
Okay. The 1-1. Upstairs, 2-1, 2 balls, 1 strike here on Spencer Ross. So for number 3, I get it often enough. Another one that's a bit underrated. I'm torn between 2, and I'll say it in just a moment. The 2-1. Inside, 3-1 count here on Spencer. Mars bars.
Okay.
Wonder Bar.
I couldn't tell you the last time I had a Wonder Bar.
The 3-1, well inside, but he gets it in for a strike. The fans not exactly thrilled with that call.
So now that the count's full, Grinberg will be on the move from first base here with 2 outs. Ross has been a very productive batter for the Panthers the last 2 weeks. So this ball will probably be in play.
And he'll foul that one off. Also, honorable mention, crunchies.
Okay. For those of you listening, we do accept any of these up to the media booth on game day.
Yes.
Yep. Bring them up to the broadcast booth. Fill our chats with your top three. Why not? Here comes the 3-2. Well inside, and that is indeed a walk issued to Spencer Ross. He takes the free 90 for the second time tonight.
And so it brings up Eric Martin with 2 on and 2 out. Martin's had a ground out to first and a strikeout tonight.
Designated hitter number 67, Eric.
Panthers hitting .277 on the year with runners in scoring position and 2 away. Includes 5 home runs. For the Guelph Royals, meantime, similar situation. They're allowing opponents to hit 169 coming into tonight.
That's pretty stingy, partner.
That is pretty stingy indeed as Dino comes out for a conversation with Hector. He's getting up there when it comes to the pitch count. Let's take a look real quickly at that pitch count right now. 58 strikes to 49 balls. So he is already in the century.
He is, yes.
Beyond 100 pitches. He'll remain in this game, but I'd have to imagine that this might be his final batter, perhaps final inning.
I would think final inning. I don't see much action going on in the Royals' pen at all. Also, one more nugget about chocolate bars. It's not a chocolate bar, but underrated. Big feet.
Okay. Bear paws? Massive paws there from Eric Martin. He swings at that one with those massive paws, but he swings through it for strike one.
Could take or leave a bear paw.
Right. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. Strike two.
Yeah, Martin getting a little too long in the tooth there in that swing. Jan's giving a steady diet of breaking balls, and Martin's just swinging over the top.
Get another look at second. The delivery, and Martin just gets a piece of it to stay alive.
And that pitch from Jan was up a little bit there, allowing Martin to just stay alive. Of course, 0-2 count. 2 on, 2 out, bottom of the 5th. Panthers lead the Royals 6-3.
So the exact same scoreline their last meeting. Fouls that one off again, extends the at-bat. Of course, that came on June 23rd. Kitchener getting the victory here at Jack Couch. It was on a Sunday. It was a good game between those two teams.
And I believe they'll match up twice more.
Yes, they do. There's strike 3, and Eric Martin goes down on strikes to end the inning. So Hector Jan gets through 5 here at Jack Couch. It remains 6-3 Kitchener as we go to break. Stay with us. This is Kitchener Panthers Baseball on YouTube and 98.5 CKWR.
Hey, Mr. Ricky.
Boys, I want you to meet someone. Outstanding athlete, the former second lieutenant in the United States Army, and your new second baseman, Jackie Robinson.
Hi, gentlemen.
Et maintenant, on va entrer pour you. And now batting for the Royals, le deuxième but, the second baseman, Jackie Robinson. Quatrième manche, 4th inning.
Record numbers of cheering Montrealers helped Jackie Robinson break baseball's color bar that year. He never forgot the city that launched his journey to baseball's Hall of Fame.
Welcome back to Kitchener Panthers Baseball on YouTube and 98.5 CKWR. Kitchener 6, Guelph 3. Yankiel Morris, his first career IBL start has just come to an end. Brett Reed now comes into the ball game here for the Kitchener Panthers.
Yeah, Morris went 5 innings, gave up 6 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, 5 strikeouts. Pretty good debut for Yankiel Morris.
And it's as advertised, as expected, a guy he kind of struggled out of the gate, of course, getting his footing here in a new league, in a new country, but really capitalized on some key situations, as he went along and started to feel himself, feel his pitches. And of course, gets, as we probably predicted coming into tonight, if he's going to get the start, he'll get his appearance, he'll get 5 innings of work, and he's halfway there.
Yeah, he's not living on a prayer.
No, he is not. He's living on consistency.
He is.
As we go to the 6th inning here, and the Guelph Royals will send J.D. Williams to the bump, or to the batter's box to face Brett Reed on the bump.
I think it really helped that Morris gave up that run on the top of the 1st inning, but then the Panthers immediately came back and put 5 up on the bottom of the 1st. I think that settles the nerves a little bit for him, allows him to pitch his game.
The delivery to the plate right across Broadway for strike 1. Brett Reed, his last appearance coming on the 21st of July in London. It was part of that 16-13 loss. Again, part of those back-to-back ball games where it was football scores. That one's downstairs. Of course, went 1 2/3 in that one. Faced 6 batters, struck out 2 of them. Did give up a run, did give up the hit, though.
Yeah, Reed's gotten into 12 games for the Panthers so far this year. If he could give them an inning here of scoreless relief, they would take it.
Off the end of the bat, gets over Spencer Ross and into right field. And getting on base is J.D. Williams. He's 3 for 3.
He is. He's got one of the Guelph runs as well. Of course, that coming in the 4th inning.
Now batting for the Royals.
This will bring up Ashton Patterson. Again, still no word on Josh Garton. He is still in the area. Might find out a little bit more on his status going into Saturday. Again, it might be just one of those, he was DHing coming into tonight. Probably just needed an extra breather. He's getting up there in age.
He is. He is.
We joke around about it because we're around the same age.
Well,
in fact, he's only a few months older than I am, so
still younger than I am.
Yes. Garton Mania still running wild.
Brother.
Here comes the 1-0 from Brett Reed. The delivery goes off the glove, and JD is going to stay put over at first.
Yeah, wise of JD. That ball did get away from Burnside a little bit, but not far enough to advance. Would have been a close play down at second base had JD tried to advance. And again, you're in the middle innings. You're down 3 runs. You don't need to be too aggressive yet.
The 2-0 throw over to first, not in time.
As we've seen many times in this ballpark, runs can come in a hurry here.
And we do have Brandon Deans warming up in the bullpen for the Guelph Royals, so he's probably going to spell the end of the night for Hector Yan. There's a strike to Ashton Patterson.
For the Royals, you sit there and you look at what you got from Yan, and he's gone 5 innings, 6 runs. Not bad.
Off the end of the bat, caught there by Reed, over to first in time, and that'll advance the runner to second. Brett, a good heads-up play there. He knew he wasn't going to get JD, who was pretty much halfway to second by the time he got the ball, and just throws it over to first to get the quick out.
Yeah, JD Williams was on the run.
Hammond
was on the move there. Otherwise, that is a tailor-made double play ball. And just checking on Reed to make sure that he was okay, and it appears that he's no worse for wear.
I mean, it was a hard hit ball, but again, a good heads-up play, was able to get a glove on it almost immediately.
Yep, and more importantly, you got an out.
Yep, that's what you want. Of course, last night for Guelph, you get 6 innings from Yuki Narita. You get 3 innings for the save for Jacob Push. That one goes outside for ball 1.
And so you didn't have to use much of your bullpen.
And you get to go into a weekend where, again, you play Kitchener on Saturday. You go into Toronto on Sunday. And then you host Chatham, Kent, and Kitchener for a back-to-back Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. So a lot of ball games coming up in the next week for the Royals.
And that'll be the MO for the majority of these teams here in the IBL.
I mean, those dastardly rainouts.
Exactly.
That's what ends up happening. You get a bunch of rainouts.
We've had a record rainfall in the area for the month of July, and it wreaks havoc on a schedule. I don't envy the schedule makers.
Well, it was a lot of rain, not necessarily a record, especially up in Guelph.
I thought it was. I thought I read it was.
So
I could
the
be wrong.
record in Guelph, according to the records that have been accumulated from Environment Canada, I actually did a story. You can go to guelphtoday.com, by the way. That's where I do my day job.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, shameless plug. There was a lot of rain. Third wettest July on record.
Okay, third wettest.
In the city of Guelph. Here comes the 3-0 count to Ethan Hammond. That one's going to go inside, and that's a 4-pitch walk.
And that's going to go off of Burnside's glove for a pass ball. Allow J.D. Williams to get over to third on that.
Very astute eye on that one, partner.
Now batting catcher, number 23, Evan Ash.
It's the official score, isn't it?
It really is. So again, Evan Ash will come in to the batter's box with runners on the corners with one away. So again, 166.2 millimeters of rain fell last month in the city of Guelph. The record was held in 1927, 223.8 millimeters of rain.
Jeez.
I hope you put your plants away. That one's put in for a strike.
See, yeah, wow.
But definitely above average, usually about 96 millimeters for an average month of July. Doubles that, that's for sure.
Wow.
The 0-1, throw over to first, not in time.
Hopefully all of our viewers and listeners were able to avoid any major flooding. It's always a pain in the butt when that happens.
Well, I know that second big rainfall in Guelph, and similar story I did, their YMCA of note ended up getting a few inches of rain into their group area. Number of residential floods. The 0-1, that one's going to go across for a strike. No throw to second, so Ethan Hammond will take the free 90.
Yeah, luckily where I live here in Kitchener, over on the west side, we got a lot, but we avoided any flooding in our house. We moved into our house 8 years ago, and about, I don't know, 6 months after we moved in, we had a flood, and it was not fun.
My parents had about 3 floods in a matter of a few years. My graduating year of high school, actually, was the last month. We were going into graduation. Basement flooded. Luckily, none of my grad stuff was impacted by this, but did end up taking a week off of school and taught myself some construction so I can repair some of the basement.
Right.
It's a 1-2 count here on Evan Ash. He fouled the last pitch off.
Evan Ash tonight, 0 for 2 officially.
The delivery, protecting it there is Burnside. That evens the count at 2-2.
Does have a fielder's choice RBI to his credit in his last at-bat in the 4th inning. Of course, if you joined us late, we're in the top of the 6th. Panthers lead the Royals 6-3. Royals with 2 on and 1 out.
That's what they call a radio callback, for those that are interested in our industry terms. 2-2 counts, and it looks like Evan Ash is going to call for time. Took a little bit of extra time, did Brett Reed there.
And Brett Reed just wants to bear down, make sure he can get another out here. At least one more.
The delivery misses outside, 3-2. Gets an applause from the Royals faithful and the Royals dugout.
Yes, and we figured with this home and home being just down Highway 7, you'll see lots of Royals fans here and lots of Panthers fans in Hastings on Saturday.
Well, if you're a Panthers fan and you head to Hastings on Saturday, feel free to say hi. I don't bite. That one's popped up. Playable just on the other side of first base. Parsons gets over. He'll make the catch.
That's a nice play by Parsons. Good job by Parsons to call everybody off. Circled, got under the ball, made sure to use 2 hands as well. None of this Olay stuff.
Yeah, it's not about fancy. I saw a video the other night about lacrosse and scoring those highlight reel style of goals, getting those long ones. Yes, they look pretty on film. They look pretty much anywhere. They'll go on a highlight reel. They'll make a top 10. It's going to count the same as just getting those in tight ones. It's not about how, it's how many.
Exactly.
Down underneath. And it gets away from Burnside. Coming in to score is JD. And the Royals have added one to their total. It's 6-4.
Yeah, so JD Williams will come in on the wild pitch there. Ethan Hammond will advance over to third. As you said, it's not about how many or how, it's how many. And that's another one for the Royals there.
Carson Burns in the batter's box here, facing a 1-0 count. The delivery, and that'll go across for a strike. That's a big strike for Brett Reed.
It is, and absolutely no disrespect meant to Carson Burns here. But if you're Reed, you want to make it happen with Burns up to bat because the top of the order is lurking. And if Burns gets on, he's the tying run.
The 1-1, that misses under the knees.
And as we said at the top of this broadcast, these Royals, they can hit often and hard. And it doesn't take long for them to strike back.
Saw it last night, that's for sure. A lot of heavy innings for the Royals. The 2-1. Just missing on the outside edge.
Yeah, so that runs the count 3-1. You got to think if you're Burns, you're going to get a heater here. 3-1 count, 2 out, runner on third. You got to think the heater's coming from Reed.
And the heater, but it goes outside. Ball 4, and that will put the runners on the corners.
And we're going to have a mound visit here.
Conversation to see how Brett is doing. I think it might actually be a pitching change.
I think you're right.
I see some activity in the corner of my eye, and yes, that will do it for Brett Reed. We'll have a new pitcher into the ball game when we come back. Stay with us. This is Kitchener Panthers baseball on YouTube and 98.5 CKWR. We'll see you in just 60 seconds.
With a commitment of $50 million a year, Desjardins and its members are always there to help young people shine.
It's Bert, and they both come here to say, take charge of every day, stay alert.
Hi, I'm Gert, and this is my brother Bert.
Hi, we're here to help you stay alert and stay safe.
Yeah, so follow along.
Watch out, beware, things aren't always as they seem. We'll show you what we mean. Stay alert, stay safe.
Welcome back to Panthers baseball on YouTube at 98.5 CKWR. Brett Reed comes out of the ball game, and interesting to see this guy, but we can kind of see why. It's a 6-4 ball game, and in comes Yadian Martinez for the Kitchener Panthers.
Yeah, and this says to me, from the Panthers standpoint, we want to stop this rally out right now. Martinez, his last pitch on Sunday against the Welland Jackfish, he did only go 4 innings, taking the loss. He gave up 8 runs, 7 earned, 11 hits, 2 Ks, 1 walk. So, this says you're bringing your best up to plate right now. We're going to throw our best arm right now.
And you mentioned it, 4 innings on Sunday. Has had a few days to rest. Of course, we are on Thursday. So you have that average amount of time where, if you're in the major leagues, this is roughly the amount of time between starts that you would get. So Yadian comes in here a few days after pitching 4 innings
game.
The delivery. That one goes into the dirt. It gets by Burnside. Throw to home and in time. Yadian with a fist bump. And he will.
Our grandfather started this business in 1925, immigrant who came to Canada with nothing, building up his first store. My father took over the business in 1970. After he retired, my brother and I expanded it to additional markets.
We have memories of being kids playing in the Teppermans of 1975 and 1976. We are so much more than that today, and we are still fundamentally exactly the same thing. This is more than just retail. At Teppermans, our values are a commitment to people, our team, our customers, commitment to environmental sustainability.
But the heart of our business is family. The furniture in your home really does form and define your experiences and your memories.
The things we sell makes a house a home. Those are the moments that bring people together.
It's about honoring the old school values of Nate Tepperman and Bill Tepperman, and really looking to inspiring the future generations of our customers.
There we go. Welcome back to Panthers Baseball on YouTube at 98.5 CKWR. Apologies for the technical snafu there. It's a 6-4 ball game. Brandon Deans comes into the ball game here for the Guelph Royals, and a little bit of frustration being shown at the end of that inning by a particular Guelph Royals player.
Yeah, Ethan Hammond, with Brando LaRue up to bat, there was a ball. It got away from Burnside. LaRue tried to scamper home. Burnside flipped the ball over to Martinez, who covered, and they tagged him out for the third and final out of the inning. And Hammond was none too pleased and had wanted to air out his helmet. Let's put it that way.
Nobody gets thrown out, by the way, on that one, as we welcome you back here inside the broadcast booth. 6-4 ball game, and it is AJ Carosis up to bat. A couple of pitches upstairs, 2-0.
So Deans has gotten into 12 games for the Royals this year. He started 16 innings, 14 hits, 11 runs, 10 earned, 12 walks, 26 Ks. So, as a reliever predominantly,
when Deans comes in,
good things generally happen for the Royals.
And that one paints the inside. 2-0 count turns into a 2-2 count. Of course, Deans' last appearance came in that 9-1 loss to Chatham-Kent on the 28th of July, as that one's going to be lined foul down the left field side.
Yeah. Deans sporting a 14.6 K per 9 percentage.
That gets outs.
Second on the Guelph Royals, actually, sorry.
The 2-2 over to short, fielded by Morrow, over to first in time. Out of town scoreboard, it was 2-0 Barrie. Well, lo and behold, the Jackfish are jackfishing again, including a home run. They now have a 4-2 lead in the top of the seventh.
Wow. Another team that just, they're never out of the ball game with the bats that they have.
Ryan Burnside.
They can beat you with defense. They can beat you a whole lot of different ways.
Yeah, defense, pitching, long ball, stealing bags. They can do it all, that club.
I don't think any of them are leaving for the postseason either.
That makes them a dangerous, dangerous club.
It's an 0-2 count here on Burnside. The delivery fielded by Burns over to first in time. It's a 1-2-3, a 1-2, as we will see Blake Jacklin now up here for the 6th inning.
So Burns retiring Burnside.
It's 4-3 for those scoring at home.
Jacklin's 3 plate appearances tonight. 0 for 3 officially with an E3, reaching on an E3.
Now batting center field.
Had a line out to second and a strikeout in the 4th.
And that will go across for strike 1.
And Jacklin on the year with a 989 OPS.
Swing and a miss. Quickly, the count now, no balls and 2 strikes.
And, if you're the Guelph Royals, you want to keep him off the base pass. 11 stolen bases for Jacklin, only caught 3 times.
St. Jacobs native. Upstairs, 1-2. Of course, spent a lot of time around the NCAA over the last number of seasons. The NCAA Division I product in Yavapai College, East Tennessee State University as well.
Really put himself on the map last year for all the social media highlights that he put out. So that just goes to show you, anybody who's watching this broadcast or listening, don't be afraid to promote yourself.
There's strike 3, and he goes down, and fans do not like that one bit. They give an earful to Chris Long, the home plate umpire, but he's ignoring the fans, and we are going to go to break. It's a 6-4 ball game as we go to the 7th inning here at Jack Couch. Stay with us.
Oh, when it comes time to muck a mammoth meal, just dial up Domino's to rally a rip up the road and drop off a pair of piping pies. Canada's top pie. Everything about these beauties is top shelf from Z to AA. Domino's. Just send it, bud.
It's a new season of baseball, and with that comes new merchandise in the Jack Couch Park merchandise tent and online store. Make sure to check out our huge selection of new wearables to cheer on your team. We have replica jerseys, jackets, pullovers, hats, scarves, and blankets for those chilly evening games. Our shops have all different sizes to choose from, and we will try our best to fit you with Panthers authorized gear. Make sure to check us out at our merchandise tent at the front gate when you enter into the park, or visit our shop online at KitchenerPanthers.com and click on Shop. We want our fans to wear our gear proud and loud and cheer on your Panthers.
Welcome back to Panthers Baseball on YouTube at 98.5. CKWR, Mark Pare and Mike Jarvis in the broadcast booth as we go into the 7th inning. Let's take a look now at the next 5 games for the Kitchener Panthers. There you see at the tail end of this home and home will happen on Saturday in Guelph at the 7:30 first pitch, followed by a game back here on Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock start against the Welland Jackfish. Another game against Guelph on Wednesday on the road. In fact, it's the first of 3 straight on the road. Into Welland next Thursday, and then into Brantford next Saturday.
Yeah, that game against the Red Sox, that's going to be a big one.
Yes, indeed it will be. The delivery from Martinez, and LaRue will foul that one off.
Of course, LaRue was up to bat last inning in the top of the 6th when Hammond was out at the plate. So, that does not go down as a bat for LaRue. So he'll come up and take his turn here.
Swing and a miss yet again. 0-2.
Yeah, quickly down 0-2. LaRue's been on base twice tonight. Scored 2 runs for the Royals. So you want to keep him off the base paths if you're Yadi and Martinez and the Panthers.
And he'll put that one into play. Into left field it goes. A base hit for Brando.
Now batting.
And this will bring up Connor Morrow for his 4th plate appearance of the night.
And he reached on a double in the 1st inning. Otherwise, he's got a fly out to center and a line out to second. Has hit the ball hard each time so far tonight.
Yes, he has. And that's what you want to see at least making some hard contact. Yes, it might not go your way every time. That one protected there by Burnside. He was thinking about throwing to second, but LaRue was not taking off.
Yeah, top of the seventh, down 2 runs. There's a fine line of being aggressive and too aggressive. I don't know that the Royals are going to be overly aggressive being down 2 runs here, but we are starting to get late. But again, runs can come at a premium in this league and in this ballpark.
Just over 2 hours into this ball game. Going to probably see about a 3-hour game here.
Yeah, give or take.
Give or take, yeah. That one's well inside. Good take there from Morrow. It's 3-0 counts.
So if you're Morrow here, you might have the green light if you want, but again, you don't have to swing. You got to get your pitch in your spot, right?
Yadian might come here with some heat. Right down Broadway for a strike. Took a little bit off of it than he usually does.
A little bit off, yeah. He was thinking, he's probably thinking Morrow's going to think I'm coming with heat here. So if he does swing, I can counteract that by taking a little bit off there.
Yeah, mess up the timing. Couple of looks to center field. That one's delivered down under the knees, and that'll be ball 4.
Yeah, so quickly the Royals have the tying runs
Now batting right field
on
Andy Leader.
here in the top of the 7th with Andy Leader up to bat. Leader's had an over 3 day so far tonight.
When you look at pitching for the Kitchener Panthers this season, you start to wonder, okay, who's after Yadian? Are you going to have Yadian go the rest of the way in this one? The delivery. That one's across for a strike. Of course, if he runs into trouble, who do you turn to in your bullpen?
Maybe Garcia.
Maybe a David Bruinsma,
Yep.
who has looked solid in this 2024 camp.
That was going to be the next name out of my mouth.
Couple of looks at second base. The 0-1 leader, chopper over to Gonzalez. They'll get the 1, and they will not get the second. Leader beats it out, and they will just get the 1. Runners now on the corners.
Yeah, so Leader on with the fielder's choice.
Number 4, Garrett Takamatsu.
LaRue goes over to third base. Morrow's erased going from first to second. So runners on the corners. 1 out here. Top 7. You joined us late. Panthers leading 6-4.
5 of those 6 runs, of course, coming all the way back in that first inning. It was a big inning for the Panthers.
Yeah, they kind of ambush Hector Yon there. Again, first 2 batters, Jacqueline and Jarvis getting on with errors.
Takamatsu now in the batter's box. That one goes under the knees into the dirt.
You might want to keep an eye on Andy Leader over there. Andy Leader has above average speed, has played with Martinez, knows Martinez's time from the bump to home. Might be looking to get a bag here and possibly stay out of a double play.
Delivery and tackle foul that one off.
If you look over at Leader, you can see those feet. He's starting to get a little jumpy over there.
And his speed is very underrated too. Doesn't look like the kind of guy that would, steal a lot of bags, but he's got a lot of speed over there at first base.
Yeah, absolutely.
The 1-1 outside. And I say that too, and it's in all due respect to Leader. He does have that speed, and I say it is underrated. I just think when you look at his ability to play in the outfield, he can track that ball very speedy in the outfield, but doesn't have to use it all that much just because of the way he tracks the ball.
Well, he gets such good reads on the ball, and he's always in position.
And that one's going to be put into right field. 1 run's going to come in to score. Leader circling around like a bullet over to third. And this is a 1-run ball game. It's 6-5, an RBI single for Garrett Takamatsu.
Yeah, so nice piece of hitting by Takamatsu to go the other way and pop that into right field. Leader goes all the way over to third. LaRue comes in to score.
And here comes JD, 3 for 3.
Yeah, this is the guy you got to keep an eye on here.
This is a big-time situation for Yadian.
I think you're going to see the gas from Yadian in this at-bat here. Of course, JD hitting .333 coming into tonight's game.
Getting an extra read there. Upstairs, ball one.
And the fact that he's 3 for 3 tonight is not going to do anything to hurt the average.
No, you go 3 for 4, you're still hitting .750 on the game.
Yeah.
You're still going to bump your average up. The delivery, swing and a miss. There's some gas.
Some gas, and JD had some gas on that swing as well, too.
You know he wanted that one.
He was trying to give the Royals an 8-6 lead on that swing.
And that even goes back to our conversations about, not worrying about hitting that long ball. It's going to come when it comes to you.
Yeah, absolutely. JD's got 6 long balls on the year, 25 RBIs.
And he'll put that one into center field. It's going to drop. We got a tie game.
Make that 26 RBIs now.
6-6 is your score here in the 7th. The Royals have tacked on a number 3.
Now batting number 50, designated hitter.
Or another 2. Again, never good at math.
Math is hard.
Ashton Patterson now comes in with runners on first and second.
So now if you're Yadian, after giving up the 2 runs so far here this inning, and you still have 2 on with only 1 out, your main focus, keep this a tie game.
I went outside.
With the Royals back end of their bullpen the way it is, you don't want to give up the lead here.
It takes away the decision for Yankiel Morris.
It does. Still a great IBL debut for Morris.
Ashton Patterson makes a play. Over to second, over to first, and he beats it out.
So that'll be a 4-6, a fielder's choice. Williams erased on the 4-6.
Now batting left fielder number 28, Ethan Hammond.
And that's what you need to do here. These are some hard hit balls. The Royals are making contact. Erase some base runners.
Yep.
Make some plays. Make some defensive plays here.
Exactly. And, obviously you wanted the double play there, but at least he got 1 out. So now you've got 2 on, 2 out, runners on the corner. Ethan Hammond up, who walked, was...
That one grabbed there by Yadian with confidence. He'll just flip it over to first, and we're going into stretch time with a tie ball game here at Jack Couch. It's 6-all between these Highway 7 rivals. Still a lot of ball to go. Stay with us. This is Kitchener Panthers baseball on YouTube at 98.5 CKWR.
What can you do with a rendezvous? When your business needs a meeting space on demand, SwiftSpace has the solution. Introducing the Rendezvous Meeting Booth, a comfy booth for 6 that assembles in an instant. Fold it, store it, or move it to another room. The Rendezvous assembles in 2 minutes with no tools. The Rendezvous Meeting Booth by SwiftSpace, designed with the future in mind.
Welcome back to Panthers baseball on YouTube at 98.5 CKWR. It is Guelph 6, Kitchener 6. We got a whole lot of ball still to go here at Jack Couch. It was a 5-1 lead for the Kitchener Panthers after the first. The Guelph Royals have come a clawing back. They have scored 4 runs in the last 3 innings. Make it 5 runs in the last 4 innings, I should say, to make it a 6-6 ball game.
Yeah, these Royals, they're never out of any ball game, right? And especially with the way that their pitching staff can shut lineups down. You know, as you said, Mark, the Panthers got out to a 5-1 lead after an inning. Since then, the Panthers haven't gotten much going.
No, they have not.
They got a run in the fifth, that was aided by an error. And other than that, it's been a whole lot of nada. Panthers have only had 4 base runners since the first inning.
Delivery to the plate for ball 1 on Jet Jarvis. Should mention out of town scoreboard, Kenise Ejo hit a triple. It is now tied at 4. Barrie and Welland in the bottom of the 7th.
So they're tied in the bottom of the 7th. We're tied in the bottom of the 7th.
Whole lot of ball to go as that one misses outside.
If that's not parity, I don't know what is.
Well, parity sure as heck didn't show its skin last night.
No.
3 games, 3 blowouts. I think Hamilton and Welland were watching each other to say who can score more runs. Meantime, Guelph, again, trailed 2-1 against Barrie and then sort of just stormed out. Had that grand slam from Brando LaRue and just, sailed from there with more runs. Upstairs, 3-2 here on Jet.
That'd be a big boost for the Panthers if Jet could lead off the bottom of the 7th, getting on single walk.
Holds off on the swing, but it goes across. Chris Long punches him out. First out of the inning.
Brings up Grinberg, and Grinberg has been on base all 3 times tonight. 2 singles, 2 RBIs, and a walk. Has a run scored as well. It's really been productive in that 3-hole for the Panthers tonight.
So someone throwing in the chat, no lead is safe at Jack Couch, as has been said many times before.
Ain't that the truth?
Ain't that the truth? Brandon Deans on the bump here for the Guelph Royals. Delivers a strike here to Simon Grinberg, who has a pair of singles and a walk. The 1-1. Launches that one. Does it stay fair? No, it won't. It went into the house, but it was on the wrong side of the flagpole.
Grinberg cleared those hips just a little too fast there. He was all over that delivery and hit it a mile, but just yanked it foul. That was going to be a majestic home run if it stayed fair.
Get on to Ottawa Street. The 1-2 well outside. And when you see that hit, you're Brandon Deans, you take a bit of a gasp, but you go right back into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The delivery inside. Full count here on Grinberg.
I wonder how many balls have ever actually been hit out onto Ottawa Street.
And there is strike 3. Grinberg threw away the bat thinking he was strutting over to first, but Chris Long says, you're out.
Yeah, so both Jarvis and Grinberg have gone down looking to start the bottom of the 7th for the Panthers.
Now batting shortstop.
This will bring up Raul Gonzalez, who was a strikeout victim not once but twice tonight.
Yeah, he's gone down looking and swinging. Looking in the 2nd, swinging in the 5th.
Faces a 1-0 count here. First delivery from Deans. Watches that one go across Broadway. Evens the count. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And Dean, since he's come in the bottom to start the bottom of the 6th, has not allowed a base runner.
Fielded by Morrow off the end of the bat. That'll go over to first in time. It's a 1-2-3 inning. Deans and the Royals get out of it. We're heading to the 8th with a 6-6 scoreline here at Jack Couch. This is Panthers Baseball on YouTube at 98.5 CKWR.
At Mucho Burrito, the average order takes less than 6 minutes. Or does it? Our salsa. Those pickled onions. And the chicken. All so you can taste the time without having to take the time. Ooh, my carnitas are ready.
Welcome back to Panthers Baseball on YouTube at 98.5 CKWR. Yadier Martinez remains in the ball game here for the Kitchener Panthers as we welcome you back inside Jack Couch Park. Mark Pare, Mike Jarvis here in the broadcast booth with you. Let's take a look now at the IBL standings. Going into tonight, Welland at 25-7. Barrie 4 games back. They're in a battle in the first versus second spot. It's the front half of a home and home. Barrie has an opportunity to close to within 2 games of Welland with a pair of victories in those head-to-head matchups. London and Guelph, 6 games back of Welland, 2 games each back of Barrie. So, Guelph would like to collect some wins here. And then you look at Kitchener. Half a game ahead of Brantford for last place in the IBL. Also half a game back of Toronto for 7th place. Hamilton is 11 games back of Welland. And, of course, Kitchener 3.5 back of the Cardinals. So still a bit of a jumble there in all quadrants of the IBL standings.
Yeah, absolutely. And, to focus on the Panthers here, the Panthers do still have one more versus the Leafs. That's Thursday, August 15th here at Kitchener.
Of course, still those 2 against Brantford as well.
Right.
Got that rain out to make up for, as well as that one on the weekend.
Yeah, so if you missed the announcement, the Brantford game that was rained out this previous Tuesday, which was a rain out from before, is now scheduled for Tuesday, August 13th here at 7:30 p.m. at Jack Couch Park.
Can view it right here on YouTube. The delivery connecting there was Evan Ash, fielded by Gonzalez, bobbles it over to first and in time.
Gonzalez has such a strong arm. There was a little bit of a bobble there, but man, he didn't panic, regrouped, and fired an absolute laser over to Parsons at first base.
Out of town scoreboard, 8th inning in Barrie. The Baycats have now taken a 5-4 lead on Welland. I hope you're double screening that one, folks. I hope the Barrie and Welland fans are also double screening this one. We got 2 very competitive ball games in the IBL tonight.
And at the end of the day, that's what you want to see. Obviously, whatever team you support, whether it be Toronto, Kitchener, Barrie, Welland, Guelph, whoever, you want to see competitive. You don't want to see a 13-0 game. You want to see a 6-6. You want to see a 4-4.
By the way, Canisijo, a double away from the cycle.
Cycle watch.
That one outside, but it hits the black, according to Chris Long. 1-1 counts. The delivery. Flared high into right field, playable, and the catch will be made by Jet Jarvis, just in front of the warning track.
Yeah, a little too high there.
Back to the top of
It was Carson Burns on that one.
3rd baseman, Brando.
So Evan Ash and Carson Burns both retired, and that will bring up Brando LaRue.
LaRue, who's been a real thorn in the side for the Panthers tonight, has reached base 3 times out of his 4 plate appearances, come in to score 3 runs as well, and has a stolen base.
Squares up to bunt, tried to run that one down the first base side, but drops foul.
Not a bad idea here. Tie game. 8th inning, 2 outs. Try to get on any way you can.
Yadier deals into the dirts.
And good take there from LaRue. And, LaRue did get that bunt down. He's got decent speed. He had a very good chance of beating that out.
The delivery, and LaRue connects with all of that one into left field. It goes on the run, and what a catch by Simon Grinberg. He tracks that one down and gets it. A 1-2-3 inning. We head to the bottom of the 8th. 6-6 is your score. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Panthers Baseball on YouTube and 98.5 CKWR. The next time we'll be on the air here at Jack Couch Park, it will be Sunday afternoon, a 2 o'clock start. Back-to-back Sundays with the Well and Jackfish in town. Get your tickets now, KitchenerPanthers.com/tickets. Of course, as always, we will have it here on the air at YouTube on Panthers Baseball Online. But we want to see you in the ballpark as well. It's beach day, after all, on Sunday afternoon. So bring your towels, bring your beachwear, and come on down and celebrate beach day here at Jack Couch. Tonight, of course, is also Caribbean night.
Bring your bucket hats on Sunday.
Yeah. I got the Hawaiian shirt going. I'm going to bring that.
First base cover.
Ironically,
Parsons.
it's going to be a year to the day that I was in the Dominican Republic. So I'm just going to wear exactly what I wore down south.
There you go.
I'll be less sunburnt this time, though.
My wife might let me out of the house with a Hawaiian shirt and a bucket hat on Sunday if I tell her it's beach day.
That one's going to be fouled off by Parsons.
This could be Parsons' last at bat tonight to keep that hit streak going. It would be a big boon for the Panthers here if he could get on base.
There's a big swing and a miss. You know, he wanted that one. A little bit over-aggressive there from Parsons. He has a word there with the home plate umpire, seeing where that was in the strike zone.
Yeah, a little over-aggressive.
And swings at that one and misses. Strike 3, and Parsons goes down. That will likely do it for his hitting streak. Likely going to stay at 18 games unless we go long. And, well, you never know. It's a tie game. You never know.
Exactly. Tie game, bottom 8. We might be here. We might get some free baseball.
Sorry. For number 5.
This will bring up Spencer Ross.
Ross has been on twice tonight. 2 walks in a ground out. So officially 0 for 1.
Watches that one go in for strike 1. Now remember, it's plate appearances. It's not at bats to qualify him.
Exactly. And this being his 4th plate appearance of the night.
Holds off there. Evens the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. The delivery. Beans really working the bottom of the zone there. Just missed on the last 2 pitches.
Yeah. Ross ahead in the count, 2-1 now. Showing an acute eye.
2 hopper to Burns, over to first in time. And just like that, there's 2 away.
Now that's a nice play by Burns there. He charged that ball, and just as he was getting to it, it looked like it hit the lip of the grass and took a big hop. Burns, of course, showed off his hops, nabbed it, and threw a strike over to first base at Takamatsu to get Ross, who runs very well.
Saw similar hops from Ross earlier on tonight in that very same position.
We did.
And it's all about getting adjusted to the diamond. Those weird Jack Couch bounces. Swing and a miss for strike 1 by Eric Martin.
And it was Sunday when we were talking about the shortstops putting on a clinic here. It's been the second baseman tonight who have been, for both teams, playing very, very well on defense.
Quickly, the count is no balls, 2 strikes. You're on Eric Martin. Beans gets the sign. Set up a little bit more outside. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Swings underneath the baseball. Eric Martin is 0 for 4 tonight, and we are heading to the 9th with a tie ball game. Guelph 6, Kitchener 6. We'll be back after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Panthers Baseball on YouTube at 98.5. CKWR, ninth inning here at Jack Couch. Kitchener and Guelph tied at 6. What a ball game we have had here tonight. Mark Pare, Mike Jarvis here in the broadcast booth. Glad you can join us, whether you're on the radio dial or on the live stream. Remember, you can hit that like, hit that subscribe button if you are on the live stream. You'll find out whenever we are on the air.
For 6, Connor Morrow.
And the heart of the order due up here for the Guelph Royals.
Yeah, Morrow, Leader, and Takamatsu due up. Top 9 tie ball game. Not who you want to be facing if you're the Kitchener Panthers.
And Yadian is on the mound here for the Panthers. His third inning of work.
So far, he's gone 2 1/3, given up 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk.
That was cued on the inside of the bat, fielded by by Gonzalez over to first, and that's a quick out.
And that's what you want if you're Yadian. Keep Connor Morrow off the base for Leader, Takamatsu, Williams.
Right fielder number 11, Andy Leader.
And Andy Leader comes in here. Leader, of course, reached on a fielder's choice in the 7th. Later came in to score.
Yeah. Other than that, 0 for 3. Well, officially 0 for 4.
Swing and a miss. Although he got a piece of it. It's a foul tip, actually, into the glove of Burnside.
The big story in tonight's game, Deans for the Royals.
Off the end of the bat, fielded by Ross over to first and in time. A 5-3 and a 4-3, and quickly there's 2 outs here in the 9th.
Deans for the Royals has gone 3 innings so far. Has not allowed a single base runner. 5 Ks.
For 4, Garrett Takamatsu.
That's why you get a guy like Brandon Deans. He is as advertised.
He's really come in and shut the door for the Royals.
Of course, an OCAA Pitcher of the Year with Humber back in 2022. The delivery right across for strike 1 on Takamatsu.
Takamatsu had that big RBI single back in the 7th to go along with an RBI single in the 1st.
1 scoop there by Burnside. Of course, if you just missed it as well, should note that it is indeed Burnside behind the plate. Probably we'll see him behind the plate there again. Junior Ibarra suspended for 2 games based on that interaction with Justin Snively on Sunday afternoon against the Welland Jackfish in the 1st inning.
Yeah, so Junior probably back on Sunday for that rematch against the Jackfish. And, I don't want to comment too much on it, but I didn't see much of the interaction with Snively.
Well, it's more based on what was said is
Right.
Takamatsu gets hit there by the pitch. Again, we don't have ears on the field, so we can't exactly speculate on what was said, the severity of what was said. But if you're given a 2-game suspension for uttering anything really on that field, it's something.
It's something.
You say I think you alluded to it the other day, as JD Williams will come into bat. Umpires have, those key words.
Yep.
You say one of those 1 or 2 or 3 words, you're going to get the gate every single time.
Absolutely.
The delivery outside.
Because there was no warning. It was just you're gone. So you got to think it was one of those 2 or 3 magic words.
Exactly.
But nonetheless, that's why you have reserve players and that can play different positions.
And, you go with the Bill Belichick method. Next man up.
Of course, the Patriots fan would say that.
Says the Saints fan. The 2-0, and that'll go across for a strike.
Hey, the Saints, stand-up organization.
Are they going to come marching in 2024?
No.
Neither are we.
No.
Neither are the Patriots.
The Saints are going 6-11.
Hey, we got May now, but it's only his first season. Delivery downstairs, 3-1.
Not to get too off topic, but Hall of Fame game, first preseason NFL game tonight.
Already. Have you seen those Packers helmets that they're going to be wearing during the season? Going reverse? Unbelievable. Got to check it out online if you can. The 3-1 is going to be cued off the end of the bat, foul.
And JD Williams been a big thorn in the side for the Panthers tonight. 2 runs scored, an RBI. He's been on base all 4 times. Full count to Williams here.
Takes a look back, looks forward. The 3-2 swing and a miss. A big strikeout for Iadian. And that will allow this game to go to the bottom of the 9th with a tie ball game for the Panthers, Carosis, Burnside, and Jacqueline. An opportunity to wrap it up here on a Thursday night. 6-6 is your score. We'll be back after this.
Leonard Thompson, 13 years old, diabetes mellitus, 65 pounds.
Starve the child to let them live? The treatment's as cruel as the disease. It's a death sentence.
Dr. Banting, this could be it. He's the first to receive this trial. But will it save him?
It's not pure enough.
So we try again. And again. And again.
Before the discovery of insulin, diabetes was a death sentence. Banting, Best, Collop, and McLeod's breakthrough has saved millions of lives. Leonard Thompson's was the first.
Bottom of the 9th here at Jack Couch. It's 6-6. Brandon Deans comes in and continuing to roll in this ball game, looking to hold off the Panthers and get this game to extras. Out of town scoreboard quickly. Barrie still up 5-4 in the top of the 9th over the Welland Jackfish. The Jackfish are up to lead things off in the top of the 9th there just as we are speaking here right now. And meantime, it'll be AJ Carosis to take on Brandon Deans. And we were talking about it at the break. Brandon Deans is having a heck of a ball game in relief.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been, as locked down can be. And it's up to AJ to get the party started here.
Swing and a miss for strike one. Deans and the Royals have retired 10 straight batters. They haven't allowed a base runner since Spencer Ross back in the 5th on a walk.
Jeez.
The delivery inside, that'll hop away from Ash, but nobody on board, so no worse for wear there.
They haven't allowed a hit since Grinberg in the 5th as well, too.
Again, if you're just joining us, it was 5-1 Kitchener after the first. Swing and a miss for strike 2. 5 runs in the first for Kitchener after Guelph scored a run. It looked like Kitchener was well on their way and gone to the races. But again, the Royals pitching staff, yet again, there's a reason why they're first in the league in ERA. Swing and a miss for strike 3. And Carosis goes down, making 11 straight batters retired.
Yeah, the Panthers,
Now batting, that's your number.
they got to try something here.
Ryan.
Because quite frankly, what they're doing right now, it is not working. Deans is just mowing these guys down. Since he's come in, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 5 Ks for Deans.
Again, as advertised, and Burnside
There it is.
through the gap. A base hits for the Panthers, and they have a runner on board with 1 away.
There we go. And what I like there, Burnside shortened that swing. Instead of trying to go for the hero home run shot, shorten that swing a little quicker to the ball, a little bit more level of a swing path there, and was able to shoot that 3-4 hole for a base hit.
And this will bring up Blake Jacqueline, who has struck out his last 2 times up.
And I did not like the call that he got rung up on the 6th inning.
Dean sets up well upstairs, 1-0. Of course, again for Kitchener, a busy week ahead. Same with the Guelph Royals as we go to the final 18 days of this regular season. The 1-0, swing and a miss for strike 1. You think about it for Kitchener coming into tonight's game. This is game number 32, so that's 10 games in about 18 days. So you got a lot of baseball on tap.
Yeah, so not even every other day there. In case you're wondering, Burnside on first does have one stolen base and was caught stealing once this year.
That one's a cross for a strike, just painting the outside edge. Fans not too thrilled with that call.
It may have been a little outside, but it looked like a decent enough.
Just like it broke, I think,
Exactly.
is where that one's getting called.
Yep.
Dean sets up the 1-2, and that one's under the knees.
Good take by Blake Jacklin there. If you're the Panthers, do you maybe try a hit and run here?
Yeah, maybe.
I know it's risky because Jacklin struck out twice and Dean has been mowing him down.
Swing and a miss for strike 3. 2 away here in the ninth.
But at the same time, you've got nothing on Dean's other than this single from Burnside, right? So you gotta, get those fielders moving.
23.
Absolutely. And you see the defensive setup here for the Guelph Royals. The outfielders are playing very deep. They're just allowing that ball to get in front of them.
Yep.
If it's a hard hit ball getting into the outfield, that gets over the head. You know who is circling around.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the definition of no doubles defense by the Royals right now.
And that one's going to get right over on the hop over to first and in time. We are going to extras here at Jack Couch Park. It is 6-all heading to the 10th. Stay with us. Kitchener Panthers baseball on YouTube at 98.5 CKWR.
And he can lift anything. Anything at all. He's that strong.
Joe Schuster, will you stop it or you'll miss your train? Now help me find number 5.
Strong, but by day he's a mild-mannered reporter. Glasses, a secret identity.
Honestly, you Canadian kids.
He'd be in this cape.
A what?
A cape. Wearing these blue tights.
A hero in tights, really. Here it is.
Listen, Lois, this guy is faster than anything, I swear.
If you're not fast, you're gonna miss your train.
That's it. A bullet. He's faster. No, he's faster than a speeding bullet.
Come on, get on it. No one's gonna read a comic strip about a strong man in tights, Joe. It'll never fly.
Fly, no. But he can leap over tall buildings. Oh, wow, yeah.
See what your cousin Frank says in Toronto.
Wait, Lois. I've got something for you. Take it. It's a gift. You never know. It might be worth something someday. Is he great or what? Bye-bye, Lois.
Welcome back. Free baseball here at Jack Couch. Might get some extra viewers and listeners on here as well as the final in Barrie. The Baycats 5, the Welland Jackfish 4. So Welland drops to 25-8. Their 4-game winning streak is a thing of the past. Barrie, coming off of that loss to Guelph last night, go back home and move to within 3 games of the Jackfish for top spot in the IBL. They move to 22-11 on the year. We'll have an extra runner on base as per tradition here in extra innings. It will be J.D. Williams on the base path. So he will get in there for Ashton Patterson to lead things off here in the 10th. And Yadian remains on the bump for the Kitchener Panthers. Free baseball. Kitchener 0-2, I believe, this season when going to extras, including that game in Barrie back on July 27th.
And, extra innings, it's kind of a crapshoot now with the runner on second base started off.
Swearing up to bunt. Patterson throw over to second, and that is not in time. It's a bold strategy at times to throw over to second base. If that gets by Gonzalez, and that's all respect to him because, such a dynamite shortstop out there, keeps it in front of him. He keeps J.D. Williams over at second base.
Yeah, I don't know that I would have been doing that because, again, as you said, if that ball gets by Gonzalez, Williams is standing on third.
Bunt down the third base side. That is going to be a foul ball.
Smart play by A.J. Carosis there. Really, really heads up baseball. For those of you who are listening to us online, or on the radio rather, that bunt attempt was just hugging the line. As soon as AJ saw that ball was foul, he instantly touched it. Didn't want to make sure that there wasn't going to be a wild hop to bring that back fair. And then there would have been runners on the corners and no out.
He was victimized by a Jack Couch hop earlier on tonight and went into the outfield. Scoring up to bunt, dropping it down. Yadian will field it over to first and in time. That'll move JD over to third.
Yeah, so that'll score a sac bunt, 1-4 in your scorecard. Williams goes over to third.
Ethan Hammond.
So here comes Ethan Hammond, who has 3 outs of the game and done 3 different ways.
Yeah, infield coming in for the Panthers here. Forced runner on third, 1 out. All the infielders playing on the cut of the grass to try to potentially cut down that go-ahead run at the home if a ball's hit to them.
And the outfielders playing deep. Knocked down the line, foul. And a good grab there by the man operating at first base. Can't actually see who's over there at first, but got a celebratory cheer by the Royals faithful down the right side. The 0-1 down the line, and that's a fair ball. It goes deep into right field. 1 run will come into score, circling around, stand-up double for Ethan Hammond, and the Royals are on top 7-6.
And so a double there, pulled right down the line, scoring J.D. Williams. Of course, for those maybe new listeners that we have that aren't familiar with baseball, that'll be an unearned run against Yadi and Martinez. They don't count it as an earned run when the runner starts at second base in extras. Another little scoring nuance there.
And that'll be put up high into foul territory by Evan Ash. Into the top of the 10th we are. The Guelph Royals have just taken a 7-6 lead on the Kitchener Panthers. Yadi and Martinez on the hill. Evan Ash in the batter's box with Ethan Hammond on second base. Upstairs.
So what do you think of the extra innings rule, Mark? Starting with the runner on second.
It ends games quicker.
It
I'll tell you
does.
that much.
It really does. You know, you don't see too many games going past the 11th inning anymore in any level.
Holds off on the swing. That is ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Yeah, you don't see it go past 12, 13. You don't see it get into 14, 15, 16.
But I mean, the purist in me kind of like that as well, too.
Well, the guy that wants to go home and get some rest for the workday the
Yes.
next day, especially for these guys who have jobs. Well, for the most part, many of these guys have jobs. They want to go home and get some rest for the next day. They don't want to play until 2 in the morning.
Oh, I get that. I remember the one time, this would have been maybe 2017, 2018. We had a playoff game here against Hamilton. And I think we went 17 or 18 innings. And we got out of here about 1:30, 1:45 in the morning. And I had to get up at 6 for work the next day.
I'm not feeling that, brother.
I was very tired.
It's a full count here on Evan Ash with 1 away. A look over at Hammond, the delivery to the plate. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 2 away here for Carson Burns.
Yeah, as much as I love being at Jack Couch Park, I'm not feeling being here to 2 in the morning tonight.
No. And you know, these two teams, they don't want to go into that good night.
No.
It's another battle upcoming between these two teams on Saturday, 7:30 at Hastings Stadium. What a way to start your week if you're the Kitchener Panthers and the Guelph Royals. The delivery, and that misses on the outside. 1 ball, no strikes here on Carson Burns.
You know, the fact that we're in extras here in the 10th, and each team has only used, the Royals have only used 1 relief pitcher, and the Panthers here have used 2. That sets your bullpen up fairly well.
That one just misses for ball 2.
Of course, now you've probably burned Yadi and if you're the Panthers until what's today? Thursday. Until early next week, anyways.
The 2-0, and that'll paint the inside edge for a strike.
And then, of course, Deans who's thrown 4 innings as well, too. No, I don't imagine that you'll see him Saturday night now.
No Hector, probably no Yuki. You haven't seen Evan Grills if you're the Guelph Royals in the last little bit. You probably see him on Saturday. That one's popped up. Ferocious. Here comes Burnside. He'll get over and he will make the catch. The Panthers get out of the inning, but the Panthers now trail 7-6. To the bottom of the 10th we go. Can the Panthers get back into it? Stay with us. This is Kitchener Panthers Baseball on YouTube at 98.5 CKWR.
Viens, Abby. Viens nous aider.
Téléphone.
Yeah, but you told me that. Okay. I wanted the day off. I knew they wouldn't leave me alone. But I couldn't let the guys down.
That night in 1944, Montreal beat Detroit 9-1. Maurice Rocket Richard scored 8 points, 5 goals, 3 assists. A legend was born.
Welcome back to Panthers Baseball on YouTube at 98.5 CKWR. And Brandon Dean's still in the ballgame here for the Guelph Royals. An opportunity to collect the victory. He has had himself quite the ballgame here at Jack Couch since coming in for Hector Jan.
Yeah, 4 innings, 1 hit, 7 strikeouts. So almost 2 Ks per inning if you're Deans. And that's just
Fielder number 36.
really good pitching out of the bullpen. There's nothing else you can say about that.
So Simon Grinberg, a pair of singles to his credit tonight. Jet Jarvis, the runner on second. Bottom of the 10th. Squaring up to bunt, throw over to second base, and trying to keep Jet on second.
So this is starting just like the top half of the 10th did for the Panthers. A 1-0 count, a try for a back pick out on second base. And Grinberg,
But it doesn't work this time.
No.
Dean sets in the 0-1. Couple of looks over at second. Squaring up to bunt is Grinberg. Bunts it down, and that's going to roll foul.
Yeah. Good play by LaRue to charge that ball hard, pick it up in foul territory.
So Jet will move back over to for second base.
Now, one of the things I would like to see Jet do, again, I don't think he's going to try the straight steal, but, when you're on second base, the old adage is you can get as big a lead as the shortstop is away from the bag. Because, if the shortstop's not close to the bag, it's probably not going to get back to that bag to get there for the pickoff.
But you also have to keep an eye on second base
Right.
as well. You don't want him coming in the back door.
Right, but look how far away he is right
He's
now.
far. He's on the edge of the grass, as that one's going to be fouled off.
Right.
The bunt attempt is gone for Simon Grinberg, as he's just going to go into swing mode.
Yeah, absolutely. And Grinberg now, just hoping he can put the ball in play over on the right side. So if I'm Deans, I'm thrown to the left side of the plate.
Couple of looks at Jet. The delivery upstairs, 1-2.
And Grinberg lies to that was going to be a ball. That's just a waste pitch. See if you can get Grinberg to chase something there.
You can hear a pin drop here at Jack Couch. The 1-2 into the dirt. Good job there by Ash to keep it in front of him.
Yeah, Ash has had a nice day today behind the plate for the Royals.
Again, if you just missed it, the Barrie Baycats winners 5-4 against the Welland Jackfish tonight. So Barrie moves ever closer to the Jackfish as they battle for top spot in the IBL. Guelph tied with London for third. Couple of looks at Jet. The 2-2 swing and a miss. Deans has been on tonight. There's another strikeout.
Yeah, that bringing up Raul Gonzalez. Raul, of course, single in the first inning.
Raul Gonzalez.
Other than that, 2 strikeouts and a ground out to short.
Deans has K'd 8 in 4 1/3.
No, he did have a K per 9 of 14.6 coming into tonight.
That one paints the outside edge. Gonzalez couldn't believe it. He'll take strike 1.
Well, he's had a 5.62 ERA going into today, a 230 batting average against. All those numbers are going down for Deans.
Holds off on the swing. Yes, he did. 1-1.
He did hold off, but I'm surprised that there was no appeal down to first on that.
Of course, the first base umpire is closer to second now, keeping an eye on Jet.
Yes.
Look over at Jarvis. The 1-1. Fouls that one off. Gonzalez, 1 for 4 tonight. Hit a single in the first, but that's been it.
Again, for our new listeners and viewers, the IBL does utilize the 3 umpire system, unlike the major leagues who utilize the 4.
Deans gets set. The delivery, and that is under the knees. 2-2.
Good take from Raul there. That ball broke just at the last second, but good eye by Raul Gonzalez here. Of course, Nick Parsons on deck to try to extend that hitting streak.
2-2, and that one's going to be put into right field. Playable, it's going to drop. Here comes Jet to home. The throw, play at the plate, and Jet's going to be caught in a rundown here. Throw to home, and Jet will slide. He'll get tagged, and he is out. What a throw from right field by Andy Leader to absolutely steal a run away from his former team.
Yeah, absolutely. Jet had a pretty good jump on the single by Gonzalez. So score that out on Jet. A 9-2-5-2 put out.
Now batting first baseman number 88, Nick Parsons.
So there's 2 away for Nick Parsons.
And Nick Parsons trying to extend that hitting streak to 19 games and keep the Panthers alive.
The delivery holds off on the swing.
They're saying he went.
He went, yeah. It looked more like a half swing.
It did, yes.
So again, Gonzalez gets on with a single. So he's on first here in the bottom of the 10th. An 0-1 count, and that's a strike. It paints the inside, according to the home plate umpire. The fans not thrilled with that one.
So Parsons quickly down 0-2. Parsons with 1,026 OPS coming into tonight's game.
0-2 off the end of the bat, fielded by Takamatsu, and that is going to do it. And Nick Parsons is having an extra word there with Chris Long to find out where that location was on one of those pitches. And Spencer Ross immediately separates the two. That's going to do it here for tonight. The Guelph Royals win it in extras. 7-6 is your final score after the 10th. What a game. We're going to wrap this one up after this. Don't go anywhere. It looks like there's an extra conversation actually happening on the field. Gonzalez having an extended convo with one of the Royals players. But he's going to come off.
And that is the game.
And that is going to do it. These two teams are going to do battle again on Saturday. We'll be back after this. We'll wrap up this contest here on YouTube at 98.5 CKWR. What a game. A lot to get to.
Hey, Mr. Ricky.
Boys, I want you to meet someone. Outstanding athlete, the former second lieutenant in the United States Army, and your new second baseman, Jackie Robinson.
Hi, gentlemen.
He made no ball, don't play for you. And now batting for the Royals, le
deuxième but, the second baseman, Jackie Robinson. Quatrième manche, fourth inning.
Record numbers of cheering Montrealers helped Jackie Robinson break baseball's color bar that year. He never forgot the city that launched his journey to baseball's Hall of Fame.
Welcome back to Panthers Baseball on YouTube at 98.5 CKWR. Lots to recap. Partner Mark Pare, Mike Jarvis. A 7-6 final. The Guelph Royals come out on top here on the road on a Thursday night against the Kitchener Panthers. The Panthers have now lost 7 straight ball games, but it wasn't for a lack of effort in this one. Of course, storming out to that 5-1 lead, Hector Jan had himself quite the ball game, but the guy who relieved him, the gas that he put in, player of the game, Brandon Dean.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
Brandon Deans went 5 innings, only gave up 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and 8 Ks. And, not enough can be said about the performance from Deans tonight. Just absolutely had the Panthers off balance all night. They had the chance with a couple runners on base there in the 10th inning. Of course, Jarvis getting on to lead off due to the tie-breaking rule now, and Gonzalez with the single. The play at the plate to nail Jarvis for the second out. You can debate that all you want, but man, Brandon Deans pitched very well. The Panthers, for the most part, pitched well tonight too. It's not like they gave up a lot of hard contact by any means. It was more, a bloop single here, a walk there, kind of a death by 1,000 paper cuts tonight.
Yeah, and you go back to that pitching, of course. Starting this game, it was the IBL debut of Yankeel Morris. I think he had a productive debut. 5 innings of work comes in, is in line for the win, but we saw it with the Guelph Royals last night against the Barrie Baycats. They can produce offense as well as pitch. And, well, they clawed back and made it a 6-6 ball game and got that extra run when it counted in the 10th.
Yeah, Morris, 5 innings, 3 runs, no walks, 5 Ks. You can't ask for a better IBL debut than that. Unfortunately, just in those middle to late innings, the Royals, again, a bloop single here, and a walk there, a double there. There was the error that led to the 1 run. A little unfortunate for the Panthers on that. Reed went 2/3 of an inning, gave up a run. Yadi and Martinez, 4 1/3, gave up 3 runs. Should only be 2 runs that are earned out of that. Because, again, the runner on second that comes in to score is an unearned run.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't necessarily fault Yadian for that. I thought Yadian overall threw the ball much better today than he did on Sunday.
I would agree. And Yadi, and he comes in, gets a good performance in for the most part. Of course, only went 4 innings in that game against Welland. But now, alas, Kitchener, 10-22 on the year. They now tied with the Brantford Red Sox for last place in the IBL. Of course, only the one team will not make it into the IBL postseason. And again, when you look at the Kitchener Panthers, losers of 7 straight ball games, and we're seeing it in all kinds of different ways. There's a few blowouts here and there. There's been a number of tight games. This one was another tight game. And in my opinion, Brandon Deans had a great ball game. Play of the game was from the former Panther, Andy Leader, out in right field.
Yeah, Andy Leader, in the 10th inning, Jarvis is on second, 1 out. Gonzalez bloops the single into shallow right center. Leader, to his credit, knew it was going to fall, but fielded the ball, charged, threw an absolute laser to home to nail Jarvis in the rundown. Saved a run and the tying run for the Royals there. And you mentioned now Kitchener falls into a tie with Brantford for that last playoff spot. And again, for our new listeners and new viewers, the tie-breaking procedure is head-to-head throughout the regular season. Kitchener and Brantford have played each other 3 times so far this year, and Brantford has won 2 of those 3 games. Still 2 more matchups to come between the 2 teams.
A lot to get to in the last 17 days of the regular season. It's going to be red hot, including on Saturday night. It's a long weekend, but it's going to be a long one to go up Highway 7. Hastings Stadium, the back half of this home and home series, Kitchener and Guelph. Get your tickets now at Hastings Stadium. You can come say hi to me. I'll have the call on that one as well. And I hope you join us as well, whether it is live at Hastings or on the YouTube channel for the Guelph Royals. So for now, we are through. Guelph wins 7-6 in 10 innings. They improve to 19-12 on the year. Sole spot in third place in the IBL. Kitchener falls to 10-22.